Welcome to HOJO Radio. Our next broadcast premiered in 1935. The program struggled in the ratings until 1940 when it became a national sensation. Within 3 years, it was the top-rated program in America. Few radio shows were more beloved, and few play as well half a century later. It was the brainchild of real-life married couple Jim and Marion Jordan and was broadcast to the nation from WMAQ Chicago. The show entertained America until March of 1956 and continued on NBC's Monitor until 1959. We invite you to join us at 79 Wistful Vista with Fibber McGee and Molly right here on HOJO Radio.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. Makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with Who Cares? You know, there's a curious thing about this month of December. It's the one month when you really want your home to look its best, and yet you're busier than any other time of the year. What's the answer to that problem? Genuine Johnson's Wax, the famous polish that makes floors, furniture, and woodwork gleam with rich beauty and saves you work in the bargain. Women who practice protective housekeeping with Johnson's Wax don't have to worry about things like the Christmas holidays. Their homes are ready on short notice for entertaining, and their floors can take all the extra punishment that vacationing children have in store for them. The tough protective coat of Johnson's Wax acts as a shield, guarding finishes against wear and making daily housework easier, too. More and more housekeepers are Johnson waxing their windowsills, picture frames, and leather articles, in addition to floors, furniture, and woodwork. In fact, there are 100 extra labor-saving uses for genuine Johnson's Wax, which you can now buy in 3 forms: paste, liquid, or the new cream wax. Make a note now to buy some tomorrow. Sometimes we wonder if moving pictures are a good influence on growing men. Or maybe our hero is just too impressionable. Anyway, ever since he saw Mr. Ronald Colman a few nights ago, he has developed a British accent and started a mustache. If you could call that pathetic little growth on his upper lip a mustache. For further details, we refer you to Fibber McGee and Molly.
For goodness sakes, McGee, put that looking glass away and stop primping.
Oh, come, old girl. Can't a chap try to put in a decent appearance without...
McGee, please.
Huh?
Please, dearie, drop that phony English accent. You sound like a stock company juvenile. With adenoids.
Stock company juvenile. Oh, I say, that's jolly good, really.
Oh, I give up. I'll go over to Mrs. Stoops for a while.
Oh, Molly, just because I'm trying to improve myself.
You think that mustache improves any?
Frankly, I do, Molly. Oh, not that I expect to look as good as Ronald Colman, though I am better built.
Not better, dearie.
Hmm?
You're just a little more buxom in the belt.
Well, anyway, this mustache is going to change my whole personality. Don't you think it gives me a kind of a air?
No, but that stuff you're putting on it does. What on earth is that?
Oh, this lotion? Oh, that's a recipe the old-timer gave me. Says it's marvelous for mustaches. Been in his family for generations.
Well, it smells like it.
Hmm?
Why don't they mix up a fresh batch?
Okay. Scoff if you want to. But you'll be sorry.
Hey, Johnny, here's a different kind of lotion. Try this on your mustache.
Okay, old-timer, much obliged. This other stuff you brought me don't seem to do much good.
I know. Brought you the wrong recipe.
Huh?
That was Grandma's homemade fly spray.
70 days. Fly spray.
Hey, you might have poisoned me, old-timer. It's a good thing you come back.
Oh, it won't hurt human beings none, Johnny.
Oh.
Grandma fed a spoonful to my cousin Trimble, and he never suffered no ill effects.
Is that so?
That is, unless you call running around the block screaming and hiccuping the ill effects.
Say, does your grandmother put up a lot of these home remedies, Mr. Oldtimer?
Sure does, daughter. Never forget the time my boy Rance got his arm caught in the lawnmower. Well, sir, Grandma come trotting out, yanked his arm loose, rubbed some awful smelling salve onto it, give it a couple of jerks, and that lawnmower run just as good as ever. Well, leave me know if this stuff don't help, Johnny.
Well, he's taking quite an interest in your mustache, Erie.
Yeah, he says his whole family is affected that way. You know, his great-grandmother got scared by a bicycle at the St. Louis Exposition, and believe it or not, Molly, when his father grew up, he had handlebar mustaches.
Oh, my, isn't heredity interesting? Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a mince pie in the oven. Oh, dear, I wonder who that is.
Oh, whoever it is, now, don't say anything about my mustache, Molly. Let's see if they notice it.
Well, can't I just point and snicker a little?
Oh, please, Miss Molly.
Come in.
Good day, my dear. Hello there, McGee.
Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor.
Hi, Latrivia. What's cooking?
McGee, if there's anything I deplore, it is the idiotic custom of opening a conversation with such senseless questions as what's cooking, how's everything, and what you know. They are meaningless and unanswerable.
It is silly, isn't it? I never thought of it that way before. Did you, Molly?
Well, frequently, as you must know.
Oh.
But if you'll excuse me, Mr. Mayor, I've got to run out in the kitchen a minute.
Certainly, Mrs. McGee. And I must say something smells delicious. What's cooking?
The question is meaningless, but it ain't unanswerable, Latriv. It's a mince pie.
Yes, and if I don't go take a look
Well,
at
Latrivia, notice anything different about me?
No, I don't believe I do, McGee.
Oh, I say, old chap, take a good look. It's something new for me, you know, really.
Something new, eh?
Yes, really.
No, don't tell me. Let me guess.
I really did it because I always admired yours so much, Latrivia. Catch on to it?
Oh, how stupid of me. Congratulations.
Well, thanks.
You've had your shoes shined.
No, you don't get it. Take a gander at my upper lip.
I can't see your lip with all those whiskers on it.
What do you mean, whiskers? That's a mustache.
Oh, yes. Of course. And very becoming to you, too.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Hey, Molly, Latrivia thinks it looks good on me.
Oh, do you really, Mr. Mayor?
Indeed I do, Mrs. McGee. In fact, your husband's name came up this morning in regard to some Chamber of Commerce business, and my secretary said, now, if Mr. McGee only had something in front of his face. But let's get back to business.
If we only had something in front of... what business, Trev?
I'm seriously considering renting the house next door to you, McGee.
Oh.
When you planning on bringing over your other shirt and coffee pot, Latrivia?
Well, it's not settled definitely, McGee. The man who lived there before, Mr. Gildersleeve, I believe, where did he move to?
Sunday.
Ah, yes. Well, he told me he had quite some trouble with his next-door neighbors. Now, tell me, who lives on the other side of that house?
You mean you don't know?
Know what, Mrs. McGee?
The house on the other side of that house, Latrivia, ain't a house. It's a vacant lot.
Oh, then he must have meant that...
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, I don't believe it. Quite. But I shall investigate further. Good day, Mrs. McGee. And, McGee...
Yeah?
Tell your mustache that the strange man is leaving and it can come out now. Martha Tilton sings Kiss the Boys Goodbye.
We're such a happy pair that it isn't right, no, it isn't fair. To all those other boys I gave the air. So, Daddy, let me stay out late, for tomorrow is our wedding day. Can't the baby kind of celebrate? Kiss the boys goodbye. Daddy, let me wear the ming. What's the difference what the neighbors think? Let the baby linger on the brink. Kiss the boys goodbye. And while I'm kissing them sentimentally, keep the liberal point of view. because I'm breaking it to them gently that my heart belongs to you. So, Daddy, please remember this, that tomorrow starts a life of bliss. Let me show them what they're gonna miss. Kiss the boys goodbye. Be reasonable, Daddy. Give me one more night to play. I want to sever all my connections in a ladylike sort of way. I can't afford to have a scene on my wedding day. I'd hate to have 17 fellas give the bride away. So, Daddy, please remember this, that tomorrow starts a life of bliss. Let me show them what they're gonna miss. Kiss the boys goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
What's gonna change her name?
Goodbye. Goodbye.
What will become of us?
Let me show you what you're gonna miss. Kiss the boys goodbye.
Oh, I had upper lip, but it quivered in the storm, so I raised a little mustache just to keep it warm. Oh, I had a bad rat, this looking glass. Makes me look like Dracula with a hangover. Oh, I had a little
For goodness sake,
Calling me, dear?
don't get mushy with me. Look, I just saw your watch on the dresser, and the crystal has gone out of it. You want me to take it down to the jeweler's?
Oh, thanks. I took it out myself. I got it right here. I have.
What are you using it for?
Well, I jolly well wanted to see how I'd look in a monocle.
Well, how did it look, if you'll pardon my morbid curiosity?
I couldn't say, really. Had to squint so hard to keep the bally thing screwed in, I couldn't see.
Look, now, I admire the British just as much as you do, dearie, but take it easy. It's dangerous.
What you mean, dangerous, Mom?
The first time you start driving on the left-hand side of the road, you will be in a mess. Come in.
McGee's residence?
Oh, rather, old fellow. But we usually ask the tradesmen to deliver merchandise at the rear, you know.
Oh, zip it up, Orson. Here, sign the receipt.
What's this package?
Some stuff this guy brought down at Haggerty's Snuggery Tuggery. Much obliged, lady. And you, Basil.
Hey?
Quit trying to act like a Yank at Oxford and just be a jerk at home.
Zip it up, Basil. Why, that fresh mug.
Well, say, what have you been buying down at Haggerty's Snuggery Tuggery?
Oh, I thought I might as well go all the way, Molly, as long as I'm improving my appearance. I got a black Homburg hat and a pair of yellow gloves and some spats and a walking stick.
Well, heavenly days. What is the world coming to? And when?
Oh, I'll admit the walking stick might be a touch too much, but you can't.
Oh, no.
Huh?
No, it isn't, McGee. If you wear the spats and yellow gloves, you'll need to carry a stick. And maybe some brass knuckles.
Well, let's see if they sent my Godfers in with this package. Oh, Dad, it. They forgot something.
Oh, I say, dear boy, what did the chappies forget? Your shooting jacket for formal crap games?
Nah, them stupid goons forgot to put in my purple velvet smoking jacket.
Will your lordship excuse me if I sit down a moment? I'm a little overwhelmed.
Oh, don't be like that, Molly. Don't you want your husband to be well-groomed? Don't you want me to look smooth?
Oh, you'll be smooth, all right. You wear those spats and yellow gloves, and somebody will polish you off. But say, tell me, did you only get one smoking jacket?
Sure. You think I need two?
Well, won't you need a longer one? For when you smoke king-size cigarettes? For goodness sake, stop looking at yourself in the mirror.
Hello, folks. What's cooking?
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
I say, old chap, is it necessary to use such weird expressions as what's cooking, how's everything, and what do you know? Really, they're rather senseless and unanswerable, you know. Oh, quite. Say what?
Say, what goes on here anyway? Is he on the level, Molly?
Well, he thinks he's on the level, but it's uphill work.
Won't you step in and have a spot of tea, old chap? I say, be a good girl and put the kettle on, old thing.
We're not having any tea, and don't call me an old thing. How about a slug of root beer or something, Mr. Wilcox?
No, thanks, but I'd still like to know what this is all about.
Well, I tell you, he saw Ronald Coleman in a picture the other night, and He's been like this ever since. I only hope they don't revive King Kong. I've had enough of this monkey business.
Well, hey, look, Fibber.
McGee, Mr. Wilcox is speaking to you. Turn around.
I can see him. I'm looking in the mirror, ain't I? Hey, Harlow, you see anything different about me?
No, except your face is dirty. You've got a smudge on your upper lip there.
That ain't a smudge. It's a mustache.
Gee, is it?
I bet Mr. Wilcox was never so foolish as to try and raise a mustache.
Well, you'd lose that bet, Molly. I tried to raise one once, but I had to give it up.
I got a nasty suspicion, folks, that this is leading into something. I can't get out of it now. Why did you give it up, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, it interfered with business. Every time I started to demonstrate Johnson's self-polishing glow coat and how it keeps linoleum spotless and sparkling with a minimum of time and effort, no rubbing or buffing.
Yes. You just pour a little out, spread it on, and wait for it to dry to a gorgeous mirror-like finish, and it restores the beauty of the pattern and gives housewives hours of extra leisure, and don't accept any substitutes, and get some from your nearest dealer today. We know. Now, what about your mustache?
Yes, how did it interfere with your business, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, I'll tell you. I'd no sooner get through telling people how spotless it made their linoleum than I'd look down and see that black smudge. Every time I looked down, there it was. It made me nervous, so I shaved it off.
Oh, that's it. I feel like Uncle Dennis trying to pass Joe's Tavern. I walked right into it. Did you bring me that book, Harlow?
Oh, yes. Here. No hurry about returning it, pal. Keep it as long as you like. Well, so long now.
So long, Harlow.
What's the book, dearie?
It's an English book. How to play cricket.
How to play with a cricket? Oh, no, you don't, McGee. I won't have one in the house.
But, Molly, it's just a game.
I don't care if it is. In the first place, they're too noisy. Tweet, tweet, tweet all night long. No, sir, if you want...
Molly, this cricket ain't an insect.
I know an insect when I see one.
This is like baseball, only the difference
That's even worse. A man of your age playing baseball with a cricket. Heavenly days, McGee. First an English accent, and then mustache and a monocle, and now you play games with bugs.
Oh.
What's gotten into you?
Hey, Molly.
What?
You ever go to a quilting bee?
Yes, I have.
You ever get stung?
Don't be silly. It wasn't a real bee.
Well, cricket ain't a real cricket either. That's the English name for baseball.
All right, dearie, all right. I give up. Go out and play golf with the grasshoppers if you like. I won't...
Play ball. Come in. Oh, hi, sis.
Hi, mister.
How are you?
You want to send any messages to Santa Claus? My mama's taking me down to Bontown Department Store tonight.
Oh, she is, huh?
I
said she is, eh?
It's what?
Your mama's going to take you down to see Santa Claus.
I know her. You want me to tell him anything for you?
Oh, I don't know, sis. What's the procedure?
Hmm?
How do you go about it?
On the streetcar?
I mean, what is the modus operandi? The gimmick?
Oh, you mean how do you tell Santa Claus what you want,
That roughly was the thought I was trying to convey, sis.
Oh. Well, first you get in line with the other kids.
Yeah?
And then when it's your turn to talk to him, he takes you up on his lap, and that's the part I don't like because his beard always smells like mothballs.
Well, you got to overlook that, sis. They say the moths are terrible at the North Pole. Now, then what happens?
I don't know. I've never been there.
I don't mean at the North Pole. I mean with Santa Claus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then you tell him everything you want, and there's a lady standing there, and she writes it all down and asks you what your papa's name is and has you got a charge account.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's Santa Claus's secretary.
Well, gee, mister, if she was my secretary, I bet you I'd fire her, I bet you.
You would?
Sure.
Why?
Well, last year, when I was talking to Santa Claus, you know what she said to him?
What'd she say?
She said, "Speak up, you big dope. How can I write this down if you keep mumbling in your beer?"
Oh.
Gee, is there any way to talk to Santa Claus? I asked you.
Well, I should say not. I guess he didn't hear her say it, because if it's the same girl I saw there last year, she had some very well-filled stockings.
McGee.
And see... Well, I guess I haven't got any message for Chris just at the moment, sis. Thanks anyway.
Well, that's okay, mister. But I hope if you ever have a mustache, you won't smell like mothballs.
Oh, don't worry, sis. It won't. I got a kind of an instinct for a personal appearance. I always been kind of a snappy dresser, man about town.
What town?
Oh. Peoria, mostly.
Oh, my.
Why, sis, when I was just a young fella, I was the chic of Western Illinois.
Oh, dear.
With my bell-bottom pants and jazz bow tie. When I worked in the big mill there, I was quite the dude. Mildude McGee, I was known as. Mildude McGee, a magnificent mask of masculine muscle and manly manners, mesmerizing the maidens in the Midwest, and mentioned most every month in many of the men's magazines as the mirror and model for male millinery merchants, meticulous material manufacturers, and miscellaneous members of the metropolitan mob, mighty and magnetic from November through May, but come and hear the King's men sing Rose O'Gray.
Rosie, Rosie, Rosie O'Day, she is the prettiest thing. Under her window from miles away, the fellows all gather and sing. Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day, you're my Piligadoochie, Shinwaroochie, Ballarala, Boom-Da-Dee-Ay. Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day, you're my Piligadoochie, Shinwaroochie, Ballarala, Boom-Da-Dee-Ay. You are so darling, so lovely. That's what I mean when I say Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day. You're my Piligadoochie, Shinwaroochie, Ballarala, Boom-Ta-Dee, Boom-Ta-Dee-Ay. Oh, you're more of a lady than Rosie O'Grady. You're sweeter than Rose of Tralee. Rose of the Rio for Washington Square never could even begin to compare with my wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. I'll never betray my Rosie O'Day. She's my Piligadoochie, Shinwaroochie, Ballarala, Boom-Ta-Dee-Ay. Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day, you're my Piligadoochie, Shinwaroochie, Ballarala, Boom-Ta-Dee-Ay. Crying, my darling, I love you. That's what I mean when I say Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day. You're my Piligadoochie, Shinwaroochie, Ballarala, Boom-Ta-Dee, 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 Boom-Ta-Dee-Ay. Rosie O'Day.
Much little bit of Rosie O'Gray.
McGee, are you still rubbing that horrible ointment on your mustache?
Yeah. They need a lot of encouragement when they're young like this. You know the old saying, Molly, great oaks from little acorns grow.
I didn't know you wanted a tree. I thought you just wanted a bush. Goodness knows you've been getting enough raspberries to start one.
Oh, well, don't let it get you down, old girl. Chin up, pip, 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 carry on and all of that.
Oh, stop talking like that.
I hope that's the guy from Haggerty's Snuggery Toggery with my velvet smoking jacket. Come in, Haggerty.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Uppington? Come in, dear.
Oh.
How do you do, Mrs. McGee? I just stopped into I'm so sorry. I don't believe I've met this gentleman.
Hot dog, you hear that, Molly? She didn't know me with my mustache.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, you're Mr. McGee.
Sure, I'll stand right here.
Oh, I do hope you'll forgive me, my dear.
Oh, forgive you. Why, heavenly days, you're lucky if he doesn't kiss you, Abigail. To think that his mustache would fool anybody that much.
What did I tell you, Molly? I knew when
Mustache? What mustache? Is Mr. McGee growing a mustache?
Why, yes, Abigail. Isn't that why you didn't recognize him?
Oh, no, my dear. How ridiculous. No, I have a new lorgnette with bifocal lenses, and I simply can't see a thing.
Look, Uppy. Don't the bifocal part of them glasses magnify?
Why, yes, of course. Why?
Well, come here. Take a peep at my upper lip.
Very well.
There.
You see anything, Abigail?
Oh, my dear. He really should do something about his skin. Those big purple spots.
Raise your sights, Uppy. That's my necktie.
Oh, nay, of course. How stupid of me, wasn't it?
Yes, it certainly was.
McGee. Well, what can we do for you, Abigail? Or is this a social call?
No, Mr. McGee. I am a committee of one from our ladies' club to inspect some of the city parks. and I thought you might care to go along. We have information from a very high source that parts of them are to be sold for parking lots.
Oh, well, come down off your high source and tell us about it, Uppy.
Now, please, Mr. McGee, this is not a subject for levity.
Well, what's so serious about it, Abigail? It's city property, and they can sell it for parking if they want to.
My dear, have you no thought for our little wild creatures?
You mean them parking lot attendants?
Oh. Mr. McGee, you're impossible. You and your little gray mustache.
My mustache ain't gray.
It will be by the time it's a mustache.
Ah, good old Uppy. You know, Molly, I got a kind of a sneaking fondness for the old percher on.
Personally, I think she's a very nice woman.
Sure she is. Uppy's an old peach.
Do you really think so?
Sure I do. She's an old, wrinkled, dried-up peach that should have been pickled and canned years ago. Hand me the phone, Molly.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to call Haggerty's Snuggery-Toggery and see why they don't send out my smoking jacket.
All right, here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Haggerty's Snug... Oh, is that you, Mert? How's every little thing, Mert? Says, eh? What's, Mert? Your sister? Got pinched, eh? For going too slow.
Heavenly days in her car, McGee?
No, a revolving door. What's, Mert? Okay, I'll call him later. Goodbye.
Say, one of these days you're going to get your number right off and won't have time for one of those things.
That'll be too bad.
I'd hate to take a poll on it. Oh, well, for goodness sakes, McGee, take your fingers out of your mouth.
I just feel inside of my upper lip, Molly. My mustache don't seem to be growing very fast. Just wondered if it got mixed up and was growing in instead of out. Sometimes you've got to say...
Hey there, Johnny. How's the mustache?
Oh, hi, old-timer. Those lotions you gave me don't seem to have done much good.
Johnny, here, try this one.
Oh, is this another one of your grandmother's concoctions, Mr. Oldtimer?
Yep. And Grandma swears by this one.
Oh.
Fact is, she swears so loud by this one, we have to send the kids up to bed.
That's pretty good, old-timer.
Yes, but that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, one feller says, to t'other feller says, see where an aviator flew from Denver to New York in less than 12 hours. That so, says t'other feller. Must have been in a hurry. Have a wife in New York? No, says the first feller. In Denver. Well, try this stuff on your mustache, Johnny, and let me know what happens.
Okay, but I'm getting kind of discouraged. The more stuff I put on, the less it seems to grow.
Grow?
Why, yes. Why not?
Oh, my goodness, and I've been giving him stuff to make it go away.
Hey. What you doing, Mom?
I'm throwing out all these fancy hair tonics and lotions. I've had enough of this now.
Oh, now, Mom.
I'm sorry, dearie. I can't stand this primping and posing any longer.
Oh.
You'll have to choose between me and your mustache.
You mean?
Yes. Now, which will it be?
Well, I'll take the mustache.
Oh.
Off.
You know what I've been doing today? Well, I've been just an old inquiring reporter, asking women here and there a few questions about my favorite product, Johnson's Glow Coat, the easy-to-use floor polish. What do you like best about Glow Coat, I asked them. And you know, I got a lot of different answers, but they all add up to the same thing. Glow Coat is an all-around product. It has so many good points that it pleases everybody. One woman said, I like the lasting luster Glow Coat gives my linoleum floor. Another talked about the uniform film that doesn't chip or wear off unevenly. Someone else said she liked its quick drying and ease of application. And, of course, everybody sang the praises of Glow Coat for the way it saves work. It needs no rubbing or buffing. Now, I knew all these good things about Glow Coat, but still it did me good to hear these women so enthusiastic. And I'd like to pass that enthusiasm along to any of you who haven't tried Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat on your linoleum floors. And one final word. Remember, there's only one Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat.
You don't know why you were trying to raise a mustache, dearie.
Oh, it's a kind of old family tradition, Molly. Ever see our family album? All my ancestors had beards down to here.
Oh, no razors?
No chins. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry. Inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
Is your car sitting out in front of your house now? If it is, take a quick look at it. Doesn't it need a cleaning and polishing job? Well, then just try Johnson's Car New, the sensational auto polish that does two jobs at once. Both cleans and polishes in one application. Car New is a wonderful labor saver. It's inexpensive, and it offers an easy way for you to take better care of your automobile. Remember the name, Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U, made by the makers of Johnson's Wax. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
HOJO Radio. We're your old-time radio headquarters. Stay tuned.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by Martha Tilton and the King's Men, and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with Don't Ever Leave Me. We have just received this message for our listeners in a telegram from the president of S.C. Johnson & Son, Incorporated, our sponsor. In these serious days, there can be no division of opinion. The United States is at war. We are all ready and eager to do our part. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Glow Coat believe it is in the public interest to continue programs as entertaining as Fibber McGee and Molly. They have a place in national morale. So you can continue to hear Fibber McGee and Molly and still be in touch with latest developments. We have asked the National Broadcasting Company to feel free at any time to cut into our programs with important news flashes and announcements. Signed, H.F. Johnson, Jr. Well, there's an old saying to the effect that the female is more deadly than the male. But around the first of the month, the male can be pretty deadly, too. And here at 79 Wistful Vista, the postman has just left a stack of, which on the breakfast table reaches halfway up the coffee pot. And it's all for Fibber McGee and Molly.
70 days, McGee. Look at these bills.
You look at them. I got a letter from my cousin Ick.
Ick?
Yeah, you know. Ichabod McGee.
Oh, sure. He was the black sheep of your family, wasn't he?
Yeah, complete no good. Ran away when he was 16.
Oh?
Bummed around the country and started gambling. Won a few $100 and squandered the whole roll on a few acres of scrub farmland and then carelessly discovered oil on it. Worthless little pup is now worth $4 million.
Your own brother?
Unfortunately, he ain't my own brother anymore. We disowned him in 1926.
No, before he discovered the oil, no doubt. Well, what's he say in his letter?
He says, Dear Brother Fibber. Bah. Signed Ick, the black sheep. I guess Ick ain't in any mood to make up.
Well, I, for one, won't chase after him just because he has money.
No, me either. Wonder how I could get him to chase after me. Hey, what's this postcard?
Well, how should I know? It's addressed to you, and I never read your mail. Anyway, it's just an advertisement.
Hey, this isn't either just an advertisement. It's from the Wistful Vista Wholesale Outlet Store. It says, You have been recommended and selected as one of a small list of patrons to whom we extend the privilege of purchasing standard merchandise at a 40% discount.
Oh,
boy. This card will be your identification, not transferable. Yours very truly, signed, Paul, your pal Peters.
Oh. Say, I didn't know you had a Paul named Pal Peters. Who is he? And why should he give you 40% discount on anything?
Oh, they just do that for a few prominent citizens, for the goodwill. See, Molly, you think...
Oh, come in.
Hi, babe. Hello, Skimp.
Hello, Mr. Mills.
Hi, Billy. What's troubling your pretty little bald head today? You know anything about radio, Skimp? Who, me? I'll say I do.
Why, sure he does, Mr. Mills. He fixed ours yesterday.
Yeah.
Now all we have to do to get KPMO is turn the dial to WTL and kick it 3 times.
Why'd you ask, William? I wanted to get my sister a radio for Christmas.
Say, I thought you got her a new one a couple of years ago, Billy.
Well, I did, but it's worn out.
Oh.
She can't get Ed Wynn on it anymore. Well, if you want... Hey, look. I can get you a radio wholesale, Billy. 40% off. How much you want to sink into it? Oh, about $50.
Oh, well, you want one that'll play records?
No, my sister hasn't got any records. You leave the whole thing to me, Billy. Tell Santa Claus it's in the bag. You mean you can get me a $50 radio for 30, Skimp? Absolutely. Save you 20 smackers. So if you were thinking of getting me some little inexpensive thing for Christmas, you can do a little better now. Hey, wait a minute, Skimp. How come you get 40% off on radios? What do you mean on radios? I get 40% off on anything. I got connections. I know people in the right places.
Oh, sure. Don't you forget Mr. Mills McGee is a prominent citizen.
You betcha.
Stand up, dearie, and show Billy how prominent you really are.
Well, I'm certainly obliged, Skimp. Want the 30 frog skins now? No. Wait till you get the radio.
Will you sit down and have a cup of coffee, Billy?
No, thanks, babe. Coffee makes me sleepy. Makes you sleepy? That's funny. Keeps most people awake. Not me. I never drank it. So long. There's a great actor lost in that guy.
And I doubt if they ever find him. Are you going downtown to get his radio right away, McGee?
Yeah, I think so. Might want to pick up a few things myself. After all, I haven't got your electric waffle iron. Ooh! I haven't got your Christmas present yet.
Oh, I wonder what it's going to be. But you can get that later, McGee. I'll go with you today so we can...
Oh, dear. Come in.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Uppington.
Oh, how do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Uppy.
I was just going downtown to select a new floor lamp, Mrs. McGee. Would you care to go along?
Well, now...
Hey, wait a minute, Uppy. Don't go throwing your dough away now. Let me handle this for you. I can get 40% off on any merchandise.
Now, wait a minute, McGee.
How much you want to pay for a floor lamp, Uppy?
Mr. McGee, when I want something, I am not one to count the cost.
Oh.
With me, money is no object whatsoever.
Ooh.
I want the best, and I'm perfectly willing to pay for it. But if possible, try and keep it under $7.
Catch on, McGee? Be as reckless as you like, as long as you're careful. What kind of a lamp do you want, Abigail?
Well, my dear, I rather had in mind one with a marble and bronze base, a fluted gold leaf column, a cluster of 5 bulbs with an indirect fixture at the top, a large beige monk's cloth shade, perhaps surmounted by a small jade ornament.
Yeah. You had that in mind for $7?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Would you go to $8.50 if it had Melvin Douglas shinnying up the post to turn it on for you?
As long as you can get it wholesale, Miss McGee, you may even go as high as $10 if necessary.
Oh.
Now, that would amount to $6, I believe, with a discount.
Yeah, and if I see a nice pair of pliers for about 2 bits, you want those too, Uppy?
Why should she want a pair of pliers, McGee?
Well, I hate to see anybody pitching pennies like this with their bare hands.
Miss McGee, you are so amusing.
I kill me, too.
Oh, he's a card, Abigail.
That's what I tell everyone, my dear. I always say Mr. McGee is simply a card.
Oh, shucks.
An ace with a short A.
The King's Men singing Chul.
La 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 la. Who said a woodchuck would? Would he chuck another woodchuck's wood? If a woodchuck could chuck, he'd chuck good. Book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rag, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Ooh-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rag, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. The tune is teasy, so cool and breezy. Just take it easy. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rag, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. I met with a gal and her name was Vasily. Side of her, side Vasily, won't you be less chilly? You should have seen a change come over that Billy. Book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rag, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see Vasily by the wheel, book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. Once a policeman met a fiddlum, sitting on a stirrup cone chewing gum for rum. Woo! Said the policeman, won't you shimmy gum? Book-a-diddle-a-boo, so real. No rhyme nor reason, but but kind of pleasing, always in season. Choo-choo-choo-lie-roo, choo-lie-chang-rack, choo-lie-coo. Last time I saw him silly by the wheel, hook-a-diddle in the riddle with a fiddle in the middle, took a diddle in a bag of feather hay. Sure, 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 how silly it makes you feel. Hook-a-diddle, all-a-boo, slow breeze, slow breeze, slow breeze. Never get a better with a diller in a bag of feather hay.
Well, are we going downtown to that wholesale house or not, dearie?
Sure. Just as soon as I ride down this memorandum. Now, let's see. I'll get it. Hello? Yeah, this is him speaking. Oh, hi, Mort. Yeah. Huh? No, I never shoot craps much, Mort. Pinocchles, Mort, huh? Oh, trap shooting. I thought you were talking baby talk. I'd get a 12-gauge shotgun if I was you, Mort. That's the best. Hey, wait a minute, Mort. I can get you one wholesale.
Oh, dear. Here we go again.
Oh, what say, Mort? Sure, 40% off. Okay, you just leave it to me, Mort. You betcha. Okay, Mort. Goodbye, Mort. Huh.
I never saw you act as a middleman before, McGee, but, man, you're sure putting yourself in the middle.
Oh, well, what's one more little item? Put that down on the list, Molly. 12-gauge shotgun, automatic, full choke.
Full what?
Choke.
What does he do, shoot things and then strangle them?
Oh, choke means the barrel is kind of made smaller at the end. Now, let's see. One radio, one lamp, one shotgun.
One wonders.
One wonders what?
One wonders what one's getting into.
Okay. Laugh if you want it, but 40% off ain't anything to sneer at.
Who's laughing?
Wasn't me. Hey, I wonder if I could get a Cocker Spaniel down there.
Why buy one there?
Well, they say a bargain dog never bites. Don't you get it, Molly? 40% off, bargain dog.
It ain't funny, McGee.
I should have made it a Chihuahua.
Hey, Fibber, Molly.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Can't stop to talk to you now, Harlow. Got to go downtown.
Anytime you can't stop talk to him, dearie, you'd better go downtown. And look for a job.
Oh, well, all right. What you want, Harlow?
Look at this swell box of cigars. Would this make a nice gift, or wouldn't it?
Say, them are pretty snarky stogies, Harlow. 25 centers. I could tell more about them if I...
Hey! Put those back. These are for a gift.
Is it somebody special, Mr. Wilcox?
I'll say, Mom. It's more of a prize than a gift, really. I'm presenting them to the man who coined the slogan, "Your linoleum will be your pride if Johnson's Glow Coat is applied."
Oh, were you having a contest?
Well, no, not exactly, but I thought it was pretty good. You see, it implies the whole story of Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat.
Get this, folks. It's the stuff that keeps Wilcox working, you waiting, and us eating.
I'm serious, Fibber.
You think I'm kidding?
That slogan almost tells the whole story of Glow Coat. How easy it is to apply, how it dries to a beautiful finish in 20 minutes or less with no rubbing or buffing, and how it keeps your linoleum from cracking, checking, fading, and soiling. It saves your nickels and saves your knuckles, and your linoleum never cracks and buckles.
Well, I think it's well worth a box of cigars for that slogan, Mr. Wilcox.
Yeah. Who's the smart smoker that donated that little hunk of poetic promotion, Harlow?
Me?
You?
Yep. Thought of it coming down the street and bought myself a box of cigars as a reward. Oh. Well, it won't keep you any longer, folks. Go on.
What do you know about that? Boy, does he appreciate him.
You know, I think it's wonderful, McGee, how he keeps so interested in his job.
Yeah, it'd be all right if he kept his enthusiasm to himself, but he's got Billy Mills doing it, too.
How do you mean?
Well, I saw Billy out with a gal the other night, and was he pouring it on and spreading it around.
Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, McGee.
Oh, Mayor Latrivia, how do you do, I'm sure?
Well, what can we do for you that won't take long, Latrivia?
Oh, nothing, thank you. I was just taking a walk and thought I'd drop in a moment.
Oh.
As mayor, you know, I like to walk around the city and mingle with the common citizens. Sort of like Harun al-Rashid.
Oh, yes. Who's he?
Harun al-Rashid was an Oriental potentate in the Arabian Nights, McGee.
Oh, he was, eh? And what did this Oriental potato do, Latrivia?
Oh, he mixed with the people and listened to what they were saying so he'd know what was going on among the populace. Didn't you ever read the Arabian Nights?
Why, of course not. McGee can't read Arabian.
Anyway, by the time I get through reading Bringing Up Father and Flash Gordon and Smokey Stover, I'm all wore out.
It's very amusing. In a pathetic sort of way. By the way, do you know where I can buy a large globe of the world for my office?
Why, sure, Latrivia. I can get you one wholesale. How much you want to pay for a good globe?
Oh, it doesn't matter much, McGee. As long as I get a good one. Things are happening so fast these days, I like to keep informed.
You want a globe with Japan on it, Mr. Mayor?
Why, certainly.
Well, then you better get one quick.
Yeah, you leave it to me, Latrivia. I'll see that you get a good one cheap. I got connections.
Splendid. Thank you very much. I'll try to return the favor sometime.
Hey, how about that job in the City Hall you promised me?
Oh, did the mayor promise you a job, did he?
Well, practically. He says he was looking for a smart, level-headed man to look in on the higher-ups in the interests of clean government.
Oh, yes. The window washing job. Oh, that's been filled, McGee, but I'll keep my eyes open for you. A good day.
Goodbye, Mr. Mayor.
Window washing job. Who does he think I am?
He thinks you're the man who wanted the window washing job. Let me take that shopping list again, Geese.
Yeah.
Now, what have we? A radio, a floor lamp, a globe, and a shotgun.
Yeah.
Ah, civilization in a nutshell. How are we going to get all this stuff home?
Oh, I imagine they'll deliver it to the different people for us.
Well, if they don't, we can stick up a truck driver with a shotgun.
Yeah. Or I could bop him with the floor lamp and run off with the globe.
McGee, look who's here, Mr. Wimple. Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Hi, Wimp, old man.
Hello there, folks. Excuse me for walking right in, but my goodness, I haven't seen you for simply weeks. I suppose that's because it's been so rotten out.
No, it's because you've been so written out.
Mrs. McGee, I just love a woman who has a sense of humor.
Oh, I love this one myself, Wimple. You go get one of your own.
Hasn't your wife any sense of humor, Mr. Wimple?
Who, Sweetie Face? Well, yes, in a way she has, Mrs. McGee. But she's more of a practical joker, you might say.
Oh, one of those.
Yes. I'll never forget the time we were mountain climbing, and she held me over the edge of a cliff by my coat collar.
Oh, yeah, but you knew she wouldn't drop you, Mr. Wimple.
Oh, of course I knew it, Mrs. McGee. It certainly wasn't her fault that she got bit by a snake just that minute and had to let go.
Oh. Heavenly days, Mr. Wimple. How far did you fall?
Only a few feet, Mrs. McGee. Fortunately, my pants caught on a bush, and there I was, looking down into a 400-foot canyon, screaming for help and taking pictures like mad with my 2A brownies.
How about the wife, Wimple? Was the snake bite serious?
Oh, indeed it was, Mr. McGee. Oh. Death came within 5 minutes, and Sweetie Face skinned it for a hat band. We often think back to that day and have a hearty laugh. At least I think back and she laughs.
Have you got your Christmas shopping done yet, Mr. Wimple?
No, I still have to get a pair of dumbbells with her initials on to give Sweetie Face.
Oh, with a card reading Merry Christmas from the three of us? Hey, I'll buy some for you, Wimple. I can get you some dumbbells wholesale. 40% off.
I wish we had some music with this merry-go-round.
Well, I'd certainly appreciate it, Mr. McGee. A bargain really appeals to me these days.
Yeah, a guy gets kind of short around Christmas, doesn't he, Wimp?
Oh, indeed he does. I was looking at my dime bank this morning, and it's practically empty.
Oh, did you shake it real hard?
I didn't have to, Mrs. McGee. Sweetie Face caught me looking at it, and she shook both of us. Well, thank you ever so much, Mr. McGee, and do drop over some night. I've told Sweetie Face all about you, and I'm sure she doesn't hate you as much as she says. Goodbye.
What a life he must lead me. Oh, look at the time it is, McGee.
Oh, my gosh, we got to get going before that store closes. Get your hat, Mom.
I'm all ready. Get your own hat. You got the list of things?
Sure, right here.
How about the checkbook?
Oh, my checkbook. Oh, my... Oh, where's my checkbook? Oh, I remember.
Where is it?
Right here in the hall closet. Gotta straighten out that closet one of these days.
Martha Tilton singing The Last Time I Saw Paris.
The last time I saw Paris, her heart was warm and gay. I heard the laughter of her heart in every street cafe. The last time I saw Paris, her trees were dressed for spring, and lovers walked beneath those trees, and birds found songs to sing. I dodged the same old taxi cabs that I had dodged for years. The chorus of their squeaky horns was music to my ears. The last time I saw Paris, her heart was warm and gay. No matter how they changed her, I'll remember her that way. I think of happy hours and people who shared them. Old women selling flowers in markets at dawn. Children who applauded Punch and Judy in the park, and those who danced at night and kept their Paris dry. Then the town went dark. The last time I saw Paris, her heart was warm and gay. No matter how they changed her, I'll remember her that way.
Scene 79 Wistful Vista. The time, 3 hours later.
Oh, home again, thank goodness. What a horrible expedition. You and your 40% off. I think I'll run upstairs and take off about 40% myself. 50 including my shoes.
Yeah. I'm kind of tired, too. Hey, imagine that guy charging me $5 a piece to deliver all them things.
Yeah, and then you didn't get one single item you really wanted.
Well, I couldn't help it. It was so dark in that store, I couldn't see what I was buying.
Did you hear what he said about exchanging merchandise?
Well, you can't blame him for that, Molly. With a big discount like that, he can't afford to keep taking stuff back.
How much did all those things cost?
Well, let me look at the checkbook. Ooh, $73. Oh, but I'll get that back now, Molly, soon.
You answered, McGee. I couldn't lift the receiver for a bankrupt birdhouse.
Okay. Hello? Oh, hi, Mort. Did you get the shotgun? Wasn't it? Uh-huh. Oh, now take it easy, Mort. That gun is a genuine antique. Yeah, but he said... Oh, but look, Mort. Now, don't get excited. That shotgun was used by Daniel Boone at the Battle of Bull Durham. Bull Quibble. Well, some kind of bull. But that right at Mort. I done my best. Hold it, Mort. There's somebody at the door. See who's there with you, Molly.
Come in.
Now, see here, McGee. What's the idea of sending me that dirty little 5-inch globe when I asked for a big...
Hello, Mort. Hold the line a minute. What did you say, Latrivia?
He doesn't like the globe you bought him, dearie, oddly enough.
I certainly don't. I wanted a large-sized globe, and you send me a ridiculous little 5-inch one.
Well, it's a small world, ain't it, Latrivia?
By George, McGee, if you don't...
Excuse me, Latrivia. I'm talking to a guy on the phone. Now, look, Mort. I'm sorry I couldn't exactly get you a modern shotgun, but gee whiz, when you get 40% off...
Gee, what on earth did you think you were...
Be with you in a minute, Uppy. I'm on the phone.
Won't you sit down, Abigail, and Mr. Mayor, sit
Thank
down.
you, no. I want to speak to that husband of yours.
So do I.
It's unanimous.
Yeah, but look, Mort, I went to a lot of trouble buying you that shotgun, and if you don't appreciate...
Mr. McGee, talk to that person later. I want to speak to you about that repulsive lamp you sent me.
You think that's repulsive? If you could see the globe he sent me...
Now, let's all take it easy.
But, Mort, you don't get the idea. That gun I bought you was a genuine antique. Well, what if you can't shoot with it? Hang it over the fireplace and let the kids... Hey, Skip, you call that thing you sent me a radio?
You too, Mr. Mills?
Get off that phone, McGee. We want to talk to you.
Indeed we do.
Now, just a minute, folks. Be right with you. Now, listen to reason, Mort.
What's wrong with your lamp, Abigail?
What was wrong? The shade doesn't fit. Two sockets were broken.
You ought to see my radio, babe.
crystal set with a morning glory horns and headphones.
How about my globe? My globe. It's so old it shows New York as Indian territory.
Well, it still is. I've seen some scalpers around Times Square.
But Mort, you don't see my side of it, Mort. All I done was...
I wish you could see my left.
And my radio.
Let's have one complaint at a time here.
Yes. Let's all be calm.
All right, Mort. Okay, Mort, if that's the way you feel about it.
Oh, Mr. McGee, about those dumbbells.
What dumbbells?
Are you referring to us, Mr. Wimple?
If he is, he's the smartest guy in the room. All right, Mort. Okay, Mort, if you feel that way, there's nothing... Hello? Okay, folks, now just take it easy. What is all this?
Quiet, everybody.
Now,
Quiet,
let's consider this calmly, folks. Take your time.
Hey, the reason Molly. Oh, hello, everybody.
Now what?
Gee, I'm glad everybody's here.
Why, Mr. Wilcox?
Because I've got great news.
Oh.
See me before you do any shopping.
Huh?
I know a place where I can get 40%. Ladies and gentlemen, we know everyone is anxiously awaiting the words of President Roosevelt. In the meantime, the makers of Johnson's Wax have this message for you. America has answered the treacherous attack of the Japanese by declaring war to the victorious end. To ensure our victory, we must turn our dollars into guns and our dimes into bullets. Buy United States defense bonds and stamps at your bank, post office, or savings and loan association. Get them from your newspaper carrier boy or your retail dealer. If you live in Canada, buy Canadian War Savings Certificates or Victory Bonds. Don't delay. Act now.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Our next broadcast is a science fiction drama series that was broadcast from April 24th, 1955 to January 9th, 1958 in various time slots on NBC. Known for its high production values and adapting stories from the leading American authors of the era, it has been described as one of the finest offerings of American radio drama and one of the best science fiction series in any form and medium. We present to you X-1 on HOJO Radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X-1. Tonight's story, A Logic Named Joe, by Murray Leinster.
It was on the 3rd day of August that Joe came off the assembly line. And on the 4th, Maureen came into town. And that afternoon, I saved civilization. Lorena's a blonde I was crazy about once, and Joe is a new 1974 model Logic that I've got stored away down in the cellar. And how do I save civilization?
You're listening now to a voice
I
from the
saved it by
future.
keeping Joe down
The voice
in
of
cellar.
Frank Caldwell, head serviceman for the
Sometimes I
Logix
think about
Corporation,
turning Joe on
makers of
and
the machine
letting
that
him make
does
a video
everything
for
for you. Well,
And
nearly
other times I
everything
think of
anyway.
taking an axe to him.
The electronic Logic. In the year we speak,
kind of figured it's gonna be the
1974,
end.
no modern home was complete without
could do
one.
plenty for
And the
me,
Logic
sure,
sets
but
were working so well that life
scared
was
to take a
soft
chance.
indeed for repairman Frank Caldwell.
After all, like
That
I
is,
say, I
until
figured
that
I'd
fatal
save
day of August the 3rd when suddenly the Logics began doing everything for their users
I'm
and
getting
doing
ahead
it
of myself.
too well.
On the 3rd of August, there wasn't much doing, and I'm hanging around the boss's office smoking up his cigars.
Frank, there's a customer outside. Go take care of him, will you?
Me? I'm a maintenance man.
Mr. Korlanovich wants to have Logics explained to him.
Explained? Where's he been, on Mars?
I just moved up from the backwoods someplace.
Well, why don't you explain him?
Well, I don't feel too well.
You were okay half an hour ago.
Are you the boss here or am I? Go on out there, will you?
Okay. Oh, Mr. Korlanovich, good morning. My name is Caldwell. Can I help you?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Caldwell. This is my little boy, Freddie.
Hi, you jerk!
Oh! Freddie. How many times have I got to tell you not to kick people in the shins? Excuse it, please, Mr. Caldwell.
Oh, sure. Just a kid.
I got a knife home, could cut you into little pieces.
Please, Freddie. We'd like to buy a Logic, Mr. Caldwell. The gentleman we spoke to first said he had to leave in a hurry.
I'll fix him. Well, I understand that you're not acquainted with Logics, Mr. Korlanovich.
That's right. We just moved to the city.
Uh-huh.
My wife, she saw everybody else had a Logic, and you know how women are.
Oh, you bet. Well, you can't get along without a Logic in this day and age, Mr. Korlanovich.
Look, I got a snake. You want to see?
Well, you shut that. Now, about the Logic. Here, I'll just plug in this one right here. Now, you see, the Logic looks kind of like an old-fashioned television set, only it's got keys instead of dials. Now, a lot of the keys are standard, like the television stations, the news, the stock market quotes, and so on. Of course, if you want to talk to somebody, you just punch the number of his Logic. It's like making an old-fashioned phone call.
But there can't be keys for everything.
Oh, no. Now, let's say that you want to ask a question, like what to take for a sore throat, or who won the American League pennant in 1911. You turn on the Logic, then you just punch the question key and ask, like this. Who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington.
There, you see.
But I already knew that.
Well, of course, that was just a sample.
I got a little store. Will it keep books for me?
It will keep your books, record your contracts, serve as a filing system, and check up on what happened to your lawyer's last client. Anything.
Hey, they're really something, these things.
10,000 services and information sources in one. Read our advertising.
What I want to know, Mr. Caldwell, how do these Logics work?
Of course. Now, you saw that big building across the street?
Sure.
Well, that's one of the relay tanks. You see, there are a dozen of them all around the country, and they're all hooked up together. And there's a data plate in one of those tanks for every fact in creation. Anything that you want to see or hear, you just punch for it, and the Logic gives you the answer.
Hey, listen. Could I ask this thing how to make dart poison?
How to make what?
Dart poison. Like in Africa. I could shoot the darts through my bean shooter.
I think maybe we better not get one of these things.
Oh, no. It's perfectly all right, Mr. Korlanovich. The Logic won't tell you that.
I bet it will. I'm going to try it. Hey, how do you make dart poison?
Public policy forbids this service.
Oh, what'd you do that for?
Kind of some little brat. Because some people might ask things that aren't good for them.
Listen, I don't like this here one. I want that one over there.
Kid, they're all alike.
I want that one. If I can't have that one, I'm going to hold my breath till I'm dead.
Well, I got a lot of time.
It's no use, Mr. Caldwell. You might as well give him the one he wants.
But look, kid, they're so much alike that even I can't tell them apart.
I can. I want Joe.
Joe? Who's Joe?
I guess he means the Logic, Mr. Caldwell. He has to think up a name to call everything. You should hear some of the names he calls me.
Not till I'm 21. I promised Mother.
Okay, so we call him Joe, but them things are all alike to 1/10,000th of an inch.
I don't care. I bet he'll teach me how to make dart poison.
Okay, then. Come on, Joe. So he keeps yelling, I want that one. I want that one. I'm going to call him Joe. Mike, I tell you, I could have wrung his neck.
How many cards?
I'll draw 2. What a holy terror. He had his father scared to death.
It's too bad that kid ain't mine. I'd show him quick enough who was boss in the family. Uh-oh, holy smoke.
What's the matter?
I'm sorry, fellas. I gotta hold up the hand a minute. I just remembered. Oh, I gotta call my wife.
Oh, let her wait.
You ever met my wife? Hey, what's the matter with this thing? It ain't getting my house.
Announcing new and improved logic service. Your logic is now equipped to give not only consultative, but directive advice. If you want to do something and don't know how to do it, ask your logic.
Hey, did you guys hear that? Well, they should have told us about this.
Oh, it's just somebody trying to pull a gag.
Oh, it didn't sound like a gag to me. Maybe the boss decided to add a new logic service.
Look, the minute the system starts giving advice, some joker like you is going to be asking questions like, how do I get rid of my wife? Oh, no. The boss knows better than to start anything like that.
Yeah, but you heard what the logic just said.
Oh, listen, the sensor circuits will block the question. You don't believe me? Go ahead and try it.
Well, anything for a gag. Okay, logic, I got a question for you. How do I get rid of my wife?
Service question. Is your wife blonde or brunette?
You guys hear that? She's a blonde.
Hexacrylobinatine is a constituent of green shoe polish. Take home a frozen meal containing pea soup. Color the soup with green shoe polish. This poison is fatal to blonde females only. This fact is a product of logic service. You cannot be convicted of murder. It is improbable that you will be suspected.
The saints preserve us.
And it's bound to be right. These things can't make a mistake. Well, Mike, don't just stand there. Check the sensor circuits, quick.
Oh, we can't get to them. They're all sealed up. It's supposed to be impossible for them to go out of order.
Well, they're out of order now. And I got a feeling that some awful things are going to happen. Boss, we've got to do something. The logics have gone nuts.
Now, relax. The thing gave a goofy answer once. Maybe it was a joke. But it was an accident. Now, forget it. It won't happen again.
What makes you so sure? People are going to be trying it. Look, supposing I wanted to get rid of you, for instance.
You don't. How would you collect your pay?
I know, but just supposing. Now, look, we'll try it.
If you want to do something and don't know how, ask your logic.
How do I bump off my boss? Male, fat, bald-headed, and 45.
Make some chocolate ice cream containing powdered charcoal in place of half the chocolate. Use HOJO brand charcoal. HOJO contains an ingredient fatal only to fat, bald-headed males. This fact is a product of logic service.
Now, look, Frank, I admit these things have gone a little wacky, but there's nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about? If this keeps up, what do you bet that we'll have to shut down the company?
You kidding? We can't shut down the company, and you know it. Logics have taken the place of everything but night baseball. We shut them down, we go back to a civilization that we've forgotten how to run.
Yes, but, boss, there's no telling what they'll do.
Listen, now, you've asked these questions for a gag. Nobody's going to ask them seriously. What you need is a little faith in human nature. Excuse me, it's probably my wife.
Cyrus, dear, how do you feel?
Why, just fine, sweetheart. What have you been doing?
I just called to tell you, Cyrus. I've got your favorite dessert for dinner.
Dessert? What kind?
Homemade chocolate ice cream. Cyrus, when you taste it, you'll just die. Cyrus, what's wrong? Why don't you answer me, Cyrus?
Chocolate ice cream.
This can't be happening. Why, this is awful. These logics are dangerous.
Have a little faith in human nature.
Now, Caldwell, you're the head of the maintenance crew. I'll give you 24 hours to fix these logics or you're fired.
Well, now, look, boss.
What are you standing there for? Get in the service car. Get moving.
Where?
Anywhere. Find out what the logics are up to and see that you find out before the logics do.
Bartender, give me a double.
Come on up. Last night, have a little drink, pal. What's the matter, pal? You had a bad day?
Oh, excuse me, bud.
Listen, pal, you gotta listen. I got troubles.
Bartender, will you get this barfly off of me?
On your way, son. Oh, don't say that. I got troubles. How am I gonna... keep my wife from finding out I had a couple of little drinks. How am I going to do it, huh?
Look, mister, it's a hot day, and I've been driving a car around in it, see? And I've been trying to keep a bank president from having apoplexy on account of his logic told him how to rob his own bank. I've been trying to stop 6-year-olds from asking what comes after the bees and the flowers and their fathers from asking how to get $1 million by tomorrow. I've been tripping over dead bodies so artistically croaked that nobody's ever going to find out who done it, and all you got on your mind is
how am I going to keep my wife from finding out I've been drinking?
Dry up, will you? Go ask a logic.
My pal, my boy, where's the logic? Where's that logic?
Here, right behind you. Here, here's a nickel.
That's what I got to hear. Now, come on, logic, old pal. Old pal, be nice. How does a guy keep his wife from finding out he's had a couple of little drinks? Answer me that, huh?
Buy a bottle of Franine hair shampoo. It is harmless, but contains an ingredient which instantly neutralizes alcohol. 1 teaspoonful for each jigger you have consumed.
Oh, boy, gotta buy a bottle of... what was that again?
Supposing it's right, you'll never remember it as far as the drugstore. I think there's a bottle in the back room. Somebody left it.
Oh, my pal. Oh, my boy. No more trouble. You'll just show me the way to go.
I got a picture of him back there drinking that shampoo.
Yeah. Give me another double.
I don't know what's worse, to be as low as you or as high as him.
Where is he? I know he's here. Where is that bum?
What do you want, lady?
My husband. I know he's here. Where is he?
Show me the way to go.
That's him, that no-good louse. I'll show him. Thinks he's coming home staggering again, does he? Well, I'll teach him.
Poor guy.
Why, my dear, what a surprise to see you here.
Archibald, you're sober.
Of course, my love. I'm sober as a judge.
Then what are you doing in this saloon?
Your suspicion wounds me deeply, my love. Let me tell you, my dear, that I have been conducting a research project that is going to make us a fortune. I'm going to patent Soba, the drink that makes happy homes.
Look at this blotter, Caldwell. Blank. The greatest crime wave in history, and we can't even make an arrest. They're all perfect crimes. Thanks to the logics.
But, Sergeant, we're doing our best to find
Well,
out...
that's not good enough. You can't find out what's back of this. Shut down the company. Unless the police department will.
Look, nobody is back of it. The logics run themselves. They pick their own circuits automatically.
You mean they're doing all this by themselves?
Sure. We always knew they could do a lot more things than we knew about. I think they're just trying to be helpful, that's all.
That's all, huh? Well, you better make them cut out the tricks, including this new business they're up to now.
What new business?
Just started an hour ago. Every time you turn on a logic, it asks your name, and then it spells out the whole history of your life.
What? I haven't heard about that. Well, what's it do that for?
You tell me. Go on, go ahead, try it.
Okay.
What is your name?
How do you like that? I'm Frank Caldwell.
Frank Caldwell. Were you ever called Ducky?
Ducky?
Lay off, will you, fella? What if I was? It's been years.
Ducky, there is a call for you.
Hello, Ducky.
Holy cats. Lorraine.
Ducky, darling, how marvelous.
Hey, let me get a look. Eh?
Gosh, Lorraine, where are you?
I'm in a hotel. I just got into town. Oh, Ducky, wasn't it smart of the logic to find you?
The logic? To find me?
I asked it how to find Ducky. You must have an unlisted number, darling. You're not in the directory.
Well, gee, how have you been, Lorraine, since I saw you last? I heard you got married.
You won't believe me, Ducky, I know, but I've had 4 husbands, and I've never loved anybody as much as I love you.
You've divorced 4 husbands?
3. The last one, died unexpectedly.
Oh, who unexpected it?
He did. But the jury acquitted me, Ducky. They knew it was just a little old accident. So now I'm free again, and we got lots of things to talk over. You come right on over here, Ducky, instant.
Oh, well, Lorraine, I'm working, you see, and I'll call you back.
All right. Here's a kiss. Mm-hmm. That'll have to hold you till you get here. Hurry, Ducky.
Oh, my back. What am I going to do?
Do like you were telling me a while ago.
Huh?
Calm yourself. Ducky.
Call on the logic for you, Frank, your wife.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Hi, Gerd.
Frank, I've been trying to get you for an hour. Where you been?
I've been out making calls, honey, trying to find out what ails these logics.
Well, you better find out in a hurry or there's going to be trouble.
Now, look, Gerd. Now, just take it easy, huh?
Caldwell, you can't let this happen to me. They're asking everybody's name, and when you tell your name, it reels off your whole history.
Well, honey, I don't think they're doing that anymore. I think that was just temporary.
Well, in the meantime, it's told everybody in the neighborhood all about me. I punched Mrs. Hudson's name. She's been married 3 times, and she's had Mr. Hudson arrested twice for non-support and once for beating her up. It'll tell anybody anything.
Yeah, but look, Gerd, I'll tell you.
Frank, you stop these things or I'm going to leave you.
Oh, honey, you don't mean that?
I do. If you can't figure out how to keep our private lives out of every logic in town, then I'm through, and that settles it.
I can't even budge any of these relay plates.
Me either.
Isn't there some way we can disconnect them?
Nope, there is not. They weren't built to be disconnected. The sensor circuits were supposed to take care of cutting them off. Now, see who that's for, Frank.
Hello, Ducky, darling.
Oh, Lorene, not again.
Ducky, darling. I'm so lonesome. Why haven't you come over?
Well, I've been busy.
Oh, poor Ducky. Look, let's get married.
Gosh, Lorene, well, what I mean is...
Right away, Ducky. You're not busy tonight, are you?
Look, Lorene, I got married.
Oh, poor boy. My poor Ducky. Well, we'll just get you out of that.
No, look, Lorene.
It's all arranged, darling. I'll just call up your wife and have a little talk.
No, now, please, Lorene, I mean, it's nice of you to think of me and all, but
Now, you just give me your address and your logic number, darling.
I haven't got one.
Never mind, darling. The logic will find out for me.
Lorene?
Hey, Frank, will you get away from that thing and give me a hand?
Yes, Mike, in a minute. First, I've got to call my wife. We got to get out of town. Oh, Lord, I made a mistake.
Frank, you're supposed to be helping Mike.
Yeah, I am, boss, I am, but I got to make this call.
Call? What do I care about your call? President's getting ready to close down the company and declare martial law. Now, for the love of heaven, do something.
Yes, boss, I will. I've just got to make this one call before the logics get on my trail.
To assist in solving a special problem of logic service, kindly give the following information if possible. Where does Frank Caldwell live?
They got me. I'm through. Look, Gert, will you please not ask any more questions?
Frank Caldwell, I told you I was leaving you.
Honey, leave me later. Right now, will you pack up yourself and the kids? We got to get out of here.
But what is all this? Are the cops after you or something?
Yeah, that's it, the cops. Now get moving, honey, will you? And will you get away from that logic?
But don't you think we ought to hear the police calls?
27 and car 31. Detailed to round up all employees of the Logics Company. Use caution. They are suspected of sedition.
Holy smoke, the cops are after me.
But you just said they were.
Car 17, proceed to vicinity of 119 East 7th Street. Child terrorizing neighborhood. Use extreme caution. Child is armed with bean shooter using poison darts.
Freddie.
Who's Freddie?
Something I met once in a horrible nightmare. He wanted a logic that would tell him how to make dart poison. They're all alike, I kept telling him. They're all alike.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know, Gert. All I know is it was a nice world up till yesterday. Now it's like a guy named Joe come along and squashed all our mud pies for us.
Looks to me more like it was a logic named Joe.
What'd you say?
A logic named Joe.
A logic name? But they're all alike. Gert, baby!
Frank, let me go. Don't be so silly.
All right, honey, look, you hold the fort. Maybe they aren't all alike.
Where are you going? Frank, are you going to make a getaway?
Getaway, baby. If you've got the right inspiration, I'm going straight to the middle of this whole jamboree.
Yes? Oh. I was hoping it was the police.
You remember me, Mr. Kolanovich, Caldwell of the Logics Company?
Logics Company? I wish the Logics Company was at the bottom of the ocean.
I don't blame you, believe me. Now, where's your logic?
In here. I'd smash it into a million pieces if I wasn't afraid of what Freddie would do to me.
Look, just get out of the way, will you? I've got business with Joe.
If you want to do something and don't know how, ask your logic.
Oh, we're back to that routine, Well, I want to do something, all right. Can a logic be modified to achieve correlations for which human brains are too limited?
Yes.
How great will the modifications be?
Microscopically slight. Changes in dimension not detectable even by precision gauges. They can come about only through an extremely improbable accident.
And what would this super logic then be able to do? Come on, you, spill it.
It could set up entire new combinations of electronic relays, which would bypass the normal sensor blocks, thereby enabling it to perform valuable new services, including the giving of helpful advice on any human problem.
And has this accident ever happened? Come on.
It has happened only once in the case of the logic now owned by the Kolonovich family of 119 East 7th Street. A logic named Joe.
Thanks, Joe. That's all I wanted to know.
Hey, what's all that about?
I'm taking this logic away, Mr. Kolonovich. I'll bring you a new one, and our troubles are all over.
Hey, you, get away from Joe.
Correction, our troubles are just beginning.
Freddie, put down that blowgun.
Ah, shut up. Hey, you, I said get away from the logic.
Look, Freddie, I'm going to bring you a nice new one, see?
I want that one. Get your mitts off it. But I got in this bean shooter ain't lemonade.
Mr. Caldwell, the police. They're outside.
Yeah, for me and Freddie.
Nuts. What they want you for? You ain't smart enough to do nothing.
Oh, no? Hey, there's plenty I could tell you. Look, there's the cops, kid. It's you and me against them.
So what you gonna do about it if you're so smart?
Now, look, we may have to fight our way out. Let me see that blowgun. I know a way to hop it up so the cops won't have a chance. Now, come on, give it to me.
Okay, let's see what you can do. Here.
Thanks. Here!
Mr. Caldwell, you're a great man.
Now all I got left to do is pull this plug out of the wall. Come right in, Sergeant.
Well, that must be the kid. You don't look so tough to me.
Well, he just got a little softening.
There'll be no more complaints, officer. I guess I can go on where Mr. Caldwell left off.
Caldwell? Hey, you wanted...
Now, look, I just came to pick up this busted logic. I don't know a thing.
You said that before. Come on, you're going to the cooler.
Let's go.
Oh, wait a minute. You act like you wanted to go to jail.
Well, just till a certain party leaves town. I get a feeling it's safer.
Okay, then, Caldwell. Into the paddy wagon you go.
Thanks, officer. You may be saving my life. Now, if you'll just help me carry this logic out...
Wait a minute. You can't take that in the wagon.
I can't? Why not?
There's no room. We already got a dame in there who's raising the roof.
A dame?
Yeah, a blonde. Plainclothesman picked her up trying to buy a gun without a permit. She keeps screaming she's going to miss her date with Ducky.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you A Logic Named Joe, adapted for radio by Clarice Ross from the story by Murray Leinster. Featured in the cast were Mandel Kramer, Wendell Holmes, Guy Rep, Bill Zuckert, Walter Kinsella, Bob Hastings, Joseph Julian, Joey Fallon, Mary Lou Forster, Ann Thomas, and Mary Patton. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week, X-1 will bring you a dramatization of Robert Heinlein's famous science fiction masterpiece, The Roads Must Roll. It concerns the day when traffic became so impossible that the engineers took over and banned all automobiles, tore up the superhighways, and built huge mechanized roads which whirled along on giant rotors at speeds up to 100 miles an hour. An engineering miracle changed the face of the nation. The rolling roads took over. No one worried about the fact that if the road should stop, our whole economic life would fall apart. The machinery, they said, was perfect. But they forgot that machinery depends on men, and men are not perfect. Be sure to tune in next week at a new time, same day, for another exciting broadcast of X-1.
Keep it tuned right here to HOJO Radio for more classic old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Roads Must Roll, by Robert Heinlein.
Hear them hum, watch them run. Oh, our job is never done, for our roadways go rolling along. While you ride, while you glide, we are watching down inside, so your roadways keep rolling along. Oh, it's hi, hi, he, the rotor men are we. Check off the sectors loud and strong. 1, 2, anywhere you go, you are bound to know that your roadways keep rolling along. Keep them rolling! That your roadways keep rolling along.
It was in the middle 1950s that the automotive age began to die. The traffic engineers had long expected it. For years, they had watched our vast cities sprawl and spread out, spill over into the countryside, become more and more dependent on motor transportation. And then, finally, the inevitable breaking point was reached. The growing flood of cars and buses and trucks began to swamp the streets and arterial highways. The building of roads could no longer keep pace. The superhighways, clogged, congested, became packed with cars stalled bumper to bumper. And the cities began to die of slow strangulation, where the traffic could no longer roll. And then the engineers took over. They banned the automobiles, tore up the superhighways, and in their place they built the rolling roads, mechanized roads that moved like huge conveyor belts, whirling along on their giant rotors at speeds ranging from 5 to 100 miles an hour, carrying the freight, the food, and the people from city to city and coast to coast. And no one worried over the fact that if the road should ever stop, our whole economic life would stop. For the machinery had never failed yet. But people forgot that machinery depends on men, the men who run it.
Who makes the roads roll? We do! That's right, the engineers. We're the brains of the road. And where would the public be if we didn't keep the roads rolling? Right behind the 8 ball, and everybody knows it. All right, then. We're the men who hold the power, and it's time we started using it. We've called this meeting of the Engineers Control Committee because that's what we want to do. Control. Because I'm tired of taking orders from the Transport Commission, from slick desk jockeys like Jim Gaines, who don't even know a rotor bearing from a field corn. Now let Gaines yammer about our duty to the public. That's a lot of eyewash. We've got the power, and we're the men that count. Now it's time we quit fiddling around and use a little direct action to get what we want.
Mr. Chairman! Mr. Chairman! The chair recognizes Brother Harvey of the Transport Mechanics Union.
Thanks. Now, I don't rightly belong here since I'm no engineer.
I'm just here to represent the workers' union. But I want to know what's all the shouting for. You engineers have got better working conditions than we have, and we ain't kicking. You say the engineers are powerful. You say you can tie up the roads. Well, so can any screwball with a jar of nitroglycerin. And he wouldn't need no engineer's degree to do it, neither.
Harvey, are you speaking for your union now, or are you here as a stooge for the Transport Commission?
Listen, Van Cleek, I helped fund my union. I led the strike in 75 for decent working conditions. Where were you engineers then? With the Finks!
Brother Harvey, remember, you're only a guest at this meeting. Go on, Van.
Now listen, man. I'm one of the old engineers on the roads. You all are, worked up the hard way. We didn't go to the fancy technical institutes like those young punk cadet engineers the commission is training to take over our jobs unless we do something to stop them. Jim Gaines hasn't been able to fill us full of the old school spirit and that baloney about how the roads must roll. So all right then. Why don't we get smart for a change? What would happen if the roads stopped rolling? Maybe the country would begin to realize that they can't do it without us. Maybe we'd begin to get the things we want. Who says the roads must roll?
Yes?
Your wife is calling, Mr. Gaines.
Put her on.
Jim, I want you to stop off on your way home.
I'm sorry, darling, I can't make it.
But you promised.
I know, but Washington called in. They're sending Evans, the Australian Minister of Transport, through my sector today. I've got to show him through personally.
Can't somebody else?
I'm chief supervisor. Wouldn't be courteous.
Courtesy begins at home. I've planned this dinner for weeks.
Honey, the roads must roll.
Oh, if you quote that nauseating slogan at me again, I'll divorce you.
I can't help it, darling. I'll meet you at Stockton at 9 and we'll take in a show. Kiss Alan goodnight for me.
Well, all right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mr. Evans is here.
Show him in. Well, good evening, Mr. Evans. I'm Gaines, chief engineer.
How do you do, Mr. Gaines? They told me at the embassy you'd be the man to see. I want to know how the roads work.
I think we can handle that.
Well, I'm not a technical man, Mr. Gaines. My field is sociology. So, suppose you tell me about the roads as if I were entirely ignorant.
Fine. It's nearly at dinner time. Suppose we run up to Stockton sector for dinner. It'll take us about an hour on the roads, and you can see them working.
Excellent.
If you'll excuse me a minute.
Certainly.
Hi, Chief. What can I do for you?
Dave, you're on evening watch, eh?
Uh-huh.
Where's Van Cleek?
Going to some meeting.
I'm going up to Stockton for dinner. Anything to report?
No, sir. The roads are rolling.
Okay. Keep them rolling. All right, Mr. Evans, let's go. This is the low-speed strip. Ever ridden a conveyor before?
No.
It's quite simple. Remember to place the motion of the strip as you get on. There. We'll go right across. Each adjoining strip is a few miles an hour faster than the one next to it. Freight is carried on the 50-mile strip, most passenger traffic on the express strip. All right, now watch your step. Here we are, the maximum speed.
100 miles an hour. It doesn't seem possible.
This trip makes the round trip San Diego to Reno in 12 hours. Ready to eat?
Is this the restaurant?
Jake's Steakhouse. Fastest meal on the road.
Is it really a proper restaurant?
One of the best. Shall we go in?
Hello, Mr. Gaines. We don't see you much out on the road.
Busy in the office, Jake.
Two? Right this way. What'll it be?
You order.
Well, how about a steak? 2 inches thick from a steer that died happy.
Fine. Plug me in the phone, will you?
There's one right next to you. Flank 2, rare.
You'll excuse me, Mr. Evans?
Certainly.
Davidson on watch.
This is the chief. I'm at Jake's Steakhouse. You can reach me at 10L66.
10L66, right.
Yeah. Now they can get hold of me in an emergency.
Oh? What kind of emergency could there be?
2, principally. Power failure on the roaders would bring the road to a standstill. That happened during rush hour. We'd have to evacuate millions of people from the road.
As many as that?
Easily. There are 12 million people dependent on this section of road. Gaines here.
Hello, Chief. Davidson. Just got the hourly reports in. Diego Circle, Bakerfield Sector, Stockton Sector, and Reno Circle all rolling.
Oh, you didn't have to bother me with the hourlies, Dave.
There's a supplementary from Sacramento.
Proceed.
Cadet Engineer Gunther, while on watch, was found playing cards with C.J. Ross, technician on duty.
Any damage?
One rotor running hot, but still synchronized. It was jacked down and replaced.
All right, have the paymaster give Ross his time and turn him over to civil authorities. Place Cadet Gunther under arrest and bring him to Rotown Central.
Yes, sir.
All right. Keep him rolling. I was saying there were 2 possibilities of danger. Can you visualize what would happen if the strip under us would break?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. You don't realize you're traveling at 100 miles an hour.
Well, it can't. Not now. The strip has a safety factor of over 12 to 1. It'd take a blowout of several miles of rotors and a failure of circuit breakers before the strip could part. But it happened once in the early days on the Philadelphia-Jersey City road. The strip wasn't much more than a conveyor belt. It buckled for miles, crushing passengers against the roof. Forward section in front of the brake spilled them down under into the rotors and rollers.
Oh. Was it very bad?
Over 3,000 people were killed in that break. But the roads had to go on. The entire economic system hangs on the roads. If they stopped now, the country would starve.
Well, isn't it possible that you've become too dependent on these roads? I mean, if your whole economy is geared to the function of one type of machinery...
The roads are foolproof now. The machinery is interlocked with an enormous safety factor.
Yes, but in the long run, machinery depends on men. What if you had a strike?
We had one back in 75. Well, there's not much danger of that anymore.
No? Well, why not?
Every cadet that goes to work on the roads today is a graduate of the United States Transport Academy. They're all picked men, screened for emotional stability, and trained to give us the same kind of loyalty that Annapolis and West Point develop in their men.
I see. Are you a graduate, Mr. Gaines?
No, I'm too old for that. The academy wasn't set up till after the strike in 75. But it won't be long now, maybe 5 or 10 years, before the oldest engineer on the roads is a man who's been through the academy. Gaines here.
Davidson, there's another trouble report from Sacramento Sector.
Again? What is it this time?
What is it? What happened?
Emergency stop. Hello. Hello, Davidson. Phones are out. Come on. Jake! Jake!
What is it? What's the matter with the road?
Have everybody stay in the restaurant.
What's that?
Probably somebody stepped onto the next strip. Got cut to ribbons. There'll be plenty of casualties. Jake, where's your getaway hat?
In the pantry.
Look here, aren't we going to help those people?
I've got the whole road to think of. Don't bother me. Give me a hand, Jake. The hatch is stuck. If you're coming with me, Mr. Evans, you've got to move fast. I haven't got any time to waste.
Where are we now?
Freeway on top of the inner road ceiling. That's the outer shell over us.
Are we going outside?
No, there'll be an access down manhole over here. They're spaced every 100 feet. There, by the green light. Now, this will get us down on the northbound road. Careful, it's dark. Now stand away from the door, Evans.
Yes. But this road is still rolling.
It was only the 100-mile strip that stopped. There's what I want, a phone booth. Look out, excuse me. Look out.
Hey,
out.
Hey, I'm talking to my wife. What's the idea
Don't
of
argue.
busting in here?
Out.
Yeah, but
Emergency priority, division office.
Davidson.
Gaines here, report.
Chief, where have you been? I've been calling you.
Never mind that, report.
709, consolidated tension. Report strip 20, Sacramento Sector, past emergency level. Interlocks acted and cut the strip out. Cause of failure unknown. Direct communication cut to Sacramento Control Office. Evacuation of strip 20 commenced. No casualties.
There are casualties. I saw them. Put police and hospital routine A into operation. Get me Van Cleek. I want him to take over for me till I report in.
We can't reach him, Chief. Shall I cut out the rest of the road?
No. Keep those other strips rolling or we'll have a traffic jam the devil himself couldn't untangle. There are 5 million passengers on the road now. Notify the governor that I have assumed emergency authority. Arm all cadets available and await orders.
Shall I recall technicians off watch?
No. This isn't an engineering failure. That whole sector went out simultaneously. Somebody cut those rotors by hand. I want all available senior class cadets to report to Stockton Subsector, Office 10, with pistols and tear gas.
Yes, sir. The governor wants to talk to you. He called in.
Refer him to someone else. I'm busy. I'll get back to you. I'm going down under. Evans! Evans!
I can't hear you. The noise.
Put on this helmet.
What?
Helmet! Helmet!
Oh, yes.
You can't hear without an anti-noise filter. Come on.
What are we looking for?
A recon car. There should be one here.
Are those the rotors?
Now, the big ones are rotors. They drive the road. Little ones are rollers. They give continuous support. There's a watch gang now, jacking down a rotor.
Can they hear us?
No, the noise filter works on a 4-foot radius. I'll flash him. Now, he sees the light.
Cadet Wilson reporting, sir.
I want your recon car. Emergency.
Yes, sir. Right over here, sir.
Come on, Evans.
Yes.
Get in.
But it's so small.
You'll fit all right. You can take off your noise filter now. Hang on, she accelerates like a rocket.
Ooh, my stomach.
Relay station.
This is Gaines. Get me Davidson, senior watch officer.
Mr. Gaines, the mayor wants to talk to you.
I haven't got time. Get me Davidson. And leave this circuit hooked into Davidson's board until I tell you to cut it.
Yes, sir. Here is the senior watch officer.
Davidson.
Gaines calling. Have you found out yet what's stopping the roads?
No, sir. It's still a mystery to me.
All right. I'm on my way in a recon car. Hold everything till I get there.
Cadet Edmonds reporting, sir. 3 platoons of cadet engineers standing by with tumblebug motorcycles.
Armed?
Pistols and tear gas as ordered, sir.
Good.
Assistant Supervisor Van Cleek is calling you on Circuit 9, sir.
Van Cleek. It's about time. Cut me in.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Van. Where are you?
Sacramento office. Now listen.
Sacramento. That's good. Report.
In a pig's eye.
What?
I'm not your deputy anymore, Gaines.
What are you talking about?
Listen, don't interrupt me and you'll find out. You're through, Gaines. I've been picked as director of the Engineers Control Committee. We're taking over.
Have you gone off your rotor?
We stopped Strip 20 just to give you a taste of what we can do. We're running things now.
And you don't really think you can get away with this?
You can't start Strip 20 until I'm ready to let you. I can stop the whole road if I have to.
Van Cleek, I'll call in the Army.
How will you get 'em here if the roads aren't rolling? Now listen, Gaines. Whoever controls the roads controls the country. And right now, that happens to be me. Now sign off, Gaines. Gotta call the White House. You behave yourself and you won't get hurt.
I don't believe it, sir.
He's got us, Edmonds. We go in and blast him out, he may wreck the road. What's your rolling tonnage now?
53% under evening peak, sir.
How about Strip 20?
Almost evacuated.
Listen in on this, Davidson.
Standing by, Chief.
I'm going down inside with these cadets. We'll work north, overcoming any resistance that we may meet. The watch technicians and maintenance crews are to follow behind us. Each rotor, as they come to it, is to be cut out from under Sacramento's control, then hooked into the Stockton control board. Understand?
Got it.
Check.
If it works right, we can move control of Sacramento sector right out from under Vance's feet. And he can stay in his office there till he's hungry enough to be reasonable. Edmonds, get me a pistol.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gaines, there's a man here. He's badly hurt. He wants to see you.
Take care of him. I haven't got time.
He's from Sacramento sector.
What? Bring him in.
All right. Easy. Easy. Mr. Gaines.
You're Harvey from the Mechanics Union, aren't you?
I tried to warn you. I tried to get away. He shot me 3 times.
Get a doctor. All right. Easy, Harvey. How long's this been building up?
Isn't the man? It's the engineers. I told them they were crazy. Told them the road's got to roll. When I tried to get away, they...
He's bleeding from the mouth, sir.
Harvey. Harvey, can you hear me?
He's dead, Mr. Gaines.
Come on, Edmonds. We better move.
Hey!
All right, you men. You saw Harvey brought in. How many of you want a chance to kill the louse that did it?
I do.
Very well. You men turn in your weapons and return to quarters. We've got a job to do. To make sure the roads start rolling again. We haven't got time for infantile heroics. Anybody who hasn't got his mind on his job will be in the way. Now, here's the order. We move north, mounted on tumblebugs. We're going to try to regain control, rotor by rotor, before Sacramento sector knows we're moving. We've got to capture any watch personnel we run on before they can get word back. Surprise is vital. Use tear gas when possible. Shoot only when necessary. But get them before they can reach a phone jack. Any questions? No. Then move out. What's the score, Edmonds?
33 prisoners so far, nobody killed.
Whoops. Yes, since I rode one of these tumblebugs, gotten how to steer it.
Oh, sir, there's a man ahead. There at the rotor base.
Got a phone jacked in. Hurry. If he gets word back, we're sunk.
I don't think he's seen us. I'll dismount and get him.
Quick, he sees us.
Here, you.
Look out, he's got a gun.
I got him.
Grab his gun.
Yes, sir.
You got a phone jacked in, all right. We got through to Sacramento office. It's going to be tough.
I don't know, sir. Maybe he didn't get the call through.
Wait a minute. Listen.
The road.
Take off your noise filter. There. The road. The road is stopping. Halt your men.
Hold up there. Hold up.
There's a recon car coming up.
Relay station call from Mr. Gaines.
Give it to me.
Here you are, sir.
Gaines here.
Davidson here, Chief. Van Cleek's calling you.
Who stopped the road?
He did.
All right. Cut Van Cleek into me.
You thought I was fooling, huh, Gaines? What do you think now?
All right, Van. The road is stopped. You won this trick.
Then why don't you get smart and give up? You can't win.
You forgot something, Van. You can't lick the whole country.
Yeah? Gaines, I've got a switch button in my hand. If I push it, it'll blow 300 yards straight across the roads. And then for good measure, I'll take an axe and wreck the control station before I leave.
That's pretty drastic, Van.
Yeah, if I blow this charge in the middle of Sacramento sector, it'll get an awful lot of people. There are plenty of shopkeepers still on Strip 20, and that row of apartment houses next to the road will go.
Look, Van, you don't want to blow the road, neither do I. Suppose I come up to your headquarters and talk this over. 2 reasonable men ought to be able to make a settlement.
Is this some kind of a trick?
I'll come alone and unarmed. My men will stay here.
All right. All right, Gaines. But one wrong move, and I blow the road.
We've got to hurry, Dave. If I take too long, Van Cleek will get edgy and set off that charge.
Failure report notes?
1, strips must be cross-connected with safety interlocks, so that when one dies, the others slow down. 2, the men.
I can't understand it. Psych tests are rigid. We've never had a failure in the Hum-Wadsworth-Burton method. And then suddenly a whole sector goes sour. How could Van Cleek get a whole crew of psych-cleared men to revolt?
It's easy, Dave. As my deputy, he was ex-officio personnel officer for the whole road. He must have been faking psych records for years and transferring maladjusted men into his sector.
I've got that personnel record, Mr. Gaines.
Man's record. Masked introvert. Inferiority rating 7. Comment. Despite a potential instability shown on Wadsworth Curve, this officer is especially adept in handling men. He's adept, all right. I haven't got time for any more, Dave.
You're not going up there to Sacramento office.
I've got to.
He'll be armed. He'll kill you.
I've got to take that chance.
But unarmed? Why don't you call in the Army? He won't dare blow the road.
Yes,
then.
he would. Look at that psych record. He's putting up a big, brave front, but he's rotten inside. He wants to be taken seriously. He wants everybody to think he's the most dangerous man in the country. And if I call the Army in, he'll try to prove it by blowing the road.
How can you stop him, Mr. Gaines? He'll have a gun. What'll you have?
What'll I have? Only a prayer. And what I know about Mr. Van Cleek.
All right, Gaines. Director Van Cleek will see you now. Gaines is here, Director Van Cleek.
Come in, Gaines. Behaving sensibly at last. You know I've got you where I want you, and there isn't anything you can do about it.
I searched him, Director. He's unarmed.
Mm-hmm. I want you to sign this now. It's a declaration of your recognition of the Engineers Control Committee. You've got 1 minute to sign it, Gaines, or I'll push this button and blow up the whole sector.
You better sign, Gaines.
You need this gorilla with the gun, Van?
Hey, you
Can't
listen.
you handle one unarmed man alone?
All right, Harry, out.
What?
Out? Yeah. Okay. All right. Now sign. What's so funny?
You are. You start a revolution because you think the engineer should control the road. Then when you've got control, the only thing you can think of to do is blow it up. Tell me, what are you so scared of?
I'm not scared.
Yeah? Sitting there sweating all over that push button you're holding? Your buddies knew how afraid you were. They'd probably throw you into the rotors.
I'm not afraid.
You're afraid of me right now. You're afraid I'll have you on the carpet. You're afraid the cadets won't salute you. You're afraid they're laughing at you behind your back.
No, I'm not. Now, you keep quiet. I've got a gun.
You're afraid of using the wrong fork at dinner. You're afraid people are looking at you, laughing at you.
I am not, you dirty, stuck-up snob. Just because you went to a high-hat school, you think you're better than anybody, you and your crummy little gold-braid cadets.
Van, you're a pathetic little shrimp.
Huh?
I understand you perfectly. You're a third-rater.
Oh.
All your life you've been afraid that someone would see through you and send you to the foot of the class.
Oh, yeah.
Throw you right out on your ear where you belong. I don't want to look at you anymore.
I'll show you. I'll put a bullet in you.
Put down that pop gun before you hurt yourself.
Don't you come near me. Don't you come near me or I'll shoot. I'll shoot.
Give me that.
No. Let me go.
Give that pistol. And thanks for not disappointing me, Van.
I don't understand.
I thought if I wounded your little ego, you'd forget to push that button and pull a trigger instead. I'm afraid you'll never make a good executive, Van. They have to know when to push buttons.
Davidson.
Gaines here.
Chief, are you all right? Are you?
I'm all right. Attack now and mop up. I'll hold the control room. I've got Van Cleek, and I think his little revolution is just about over.
Hear them hum, watch them run. Oh, our job is never done, for our roadways go rolling along. While you ride, while you glide, we are watching down inside, so your roadways keep rolling along.
Mr. Gaines!
Oh,
Mr. Gaines!
Mr. Evans, I forgot about you.
Yes, I've been waiting at the sector office. Is everything under control?
All rolling. Those are the watch engineers going under to check Sacramento sector, inch by inch.
Remarkable organization. Remarkable.
Hourly's in, Chief. San Diego Circle rolling. Bakersfield, Fresno, Stockton.
Stockton? Oh, no.
What's the matter, Chief?
Trouble, Mr. Gaines?
It sure is. I promised to meet my wife at Stockton for a show. She's been waiting there since 9 o'clock last night. Dave, see if you can get her for me. Try the sector office.
All right, Chief.
And Dave, see if you can calm her down.
Oh, sure, Chief. I'll tell her the roads must roll.
No, don't tell her that. I don't think she'd appreciate it. She's heard it too often.
Oh, it's I-I-E, the roller men are we.
I better get going. Bye, Dave. Keep 'em rolling.
Anywhere you go, you are bound to know that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling, that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling, that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling, that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
Our next broadcast was produced for syndication in 1949 at WMGM New York. It was based on a popular series of movies in the late 1930s and early 1940s and brought to the microphone the stars of the series, Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Ayres plays the young, idealistic doctor, and Barrymore, ever in character, was the crusty, lovable diagnostician. The men worked at Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine, a clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on. We present to you Dr. Kildare on HOJO Radio.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. Or whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trusts. I will exercise my art solely.
The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. In just a moment, the story of Dr. Kildare. But first, your announcer. Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine. Clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, the nerve center of medical progress, where great minds and skilled hands wage man's everlasting battle against death and disease. Blair General Hospital, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on.
Will that be all, Dr. Gillespie? Did you want to take a blood sample?
No. That's all as far as I'm concerned, Miss Werner. Oh, any further examination, Jimmy?
No, I think we can handle the rest of it easier at the hospital. Mrs. Brady, you understand you're to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning for x-rays.
Yes, Dr. Kildare. 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Tell me something, Dr. Gillespie. Is it real bad?
Well, now...
Mrs. Brady, you're expecting a diagnosis before we've even completed our examination.
I feel so funny.
Well, we'll make some x-rays in the morning, maybe some other tests, and then we'll know a lot more about it.
It's been bothering me off and on for a year now, but it got worse about 4 months ago.
Really? But this is the first time you've been to the clinic?
Well, I went to see Dr. Conlon for a while.
Conlon? I don't know any Dr. Conlon, Jimmy.
Oh, he's got a real nice office in the Brunswick building.
Huh?
You know, he's the one that advertises all the time. He has that machine, whatever it's called.
Machine?
Oh, you remember, Dr. Gillespie, I showed you one of his ads a few weeks ago. He uses what I think he calls an electroradonic diagnostoscope.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm. And what did Dr. Conlon say was wrong with you, Mrs. Brady?
Well, it's real complicated, Dr. Gillespie. It's something about the electricity. It's in my joints and my liver when it ought to be out in my fingertips.
Oh, to be sure, yeah.
The machine didn't seem to help me much, but he said if I'd keep on, it'd just happen overnight. That's how it works.
Just like magic, huh?
He had all kinds of letters from people he's cured. I went to him regular until I couldn't afford it anymore.
By the darnation. Jimmy,
Yeah, I know. You can go now if you like, Mrs. Brady.
All right, Dr. Kildare.
We'll see you in the morning at the hospital.
Thank you, Dr. Gillespie. Goodbye, nurse.
Goodbye, Mrs. Brady.
Darnation.
I know a nurse is not supposed to offer a diagnosis, but, well, it was pretty obvious, wasn't it?
Not much doubt about it, Miss Werner.
Doesn't have a chance in 1,000.
Oh, confound it, Jimmy. Cancer can be cured. Why don't they come to us in the beginning?
In this case, you know why she didn't. Dr. Conlon and his electroradonic diagnostiscope.
Electricity in her joints.
Oh, she went to him until her savings ran out. Great. And she's not the only victim. I've seen others come into this clinic before, victims either of him or 100 other fakes just like him. Dr. Gillespie, that man ought to be stopped.
Yeah, he ought to be smashed.
And furthermore, he's going to be stopped.
Oh.
I don't know how, but I think we could do it.
Oh, confound it, Jimmy. I don't see any reason for all this falderall.
Be quiet now. I'm trying to listen to your heart.
There's nothing wrong with my heart. Never has been.
Shh, quiet now.
By the darnation. If I'd known that I was letting myself in for this, Jimmy, I would...
Well, my dear Dr. G, you were right. Your heart's perfect.
Of course it's perfect.
Diana, along with the blood pressure and pulse rate, note, general valve action, excellent. Evidence of myocardial deterioration, none.
Right, Jim.
3 complete physical examinations in one day. By 3 different doctors. I feel like the prize bull at the county fair.
Well, in order to make this stick, we've got to document it completely right from the start.
Well, Bertolli and Mace are pretty good authorities, They're only 2 of the best internists in the country.
Next to you, of course.
Oh, well, I was going to say that.
Oh, I knew you were. Well, personally, I didn't expect to find something that Dr. Mace and Dr. Bertolli missed in their examination this morning, but after all, I've known you, worked beside you for years, and That gives my diagnosis a different kind of authenticity. Oh, Diana, you can file my diagnosis report along with the other two now.
Yes, Jim.
And keep everything in the same file. X-rays, cardiogram, basal metabolism.
Anybody think I was going into training to fight this Dr. Conlon?
You may have to before we're through.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
Hmm?
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, gorgeous Gillespie.
No.
Wearing baby blue satin trunks, ballet slippers, and good afternoon, Dr. Carew.
Well, Dr. Gillespie, what in heaven's name is wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with me, Carew.
But someone informed me that you've been examined today by two different consultants. Are you ill?
I am not. And anyway, it's none of your business.
Leave.
Dr. Gillespie's merely getting ready for an ordeal, Dr. Carew.
An ordeal?
Yes, in fact, I haven't yet told him the full extent of it. His name now is Mr. Gillis, and he's going to be my father.
Your what?
My father.
Oh, well, now, Jimmy, isn't it several years too late for me to embark on that particular career?
Oh, not at all. Why, it's never too late, Pop.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Gillis. You've certainly brought your father to the right place. We'll have him on his feet in no time at all.
Well, I'm on my feet now, Dr. Conlon.
Oh, yes. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
You see, Dad's been having this trouble for nearly a year, but I couldn't get him to go to a doctor. He has the idea they're all quacks.
And with good reason, Mr. Gillis. I recognized your father as a man of keen intelligence the minute he walked in here. And a successful businessman, too, I'll venture.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Well, Dad's retired now. Sold his chain of grocery stores last year.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Gentlemen, you may not believe it, but the average medical doctor is a quack.
You don't say.
Modern civilization has progressed to inconceivable heights, while medicine has stood still. Why? Because the average doctor is blind. He refuses to make use of the greatest scientific discovery of this century.
Oh? What's that?
Electronics. Mr. Gillis, I presume you've heard of my electroradonic diagnostiscope?
Oh, yes. That's the part of your ad that attracted us. I don't know much about electricity, but it sounds fantastic.
Oh, I can assure you that if some of the miracles of healing I've seen take place in this office had been performed in a time gone by, I'd have been burned at the stake.
The good old days.
Well, Dr. Conlon, Dad's trouble seems to center around his chest, with pain sometimes in his left arm.
Oh, no symptoms, please, Mr. Gillis. The machine takes care of all that. Pain in the left arm. Gentlemen, suppose we step into the electronics laboratory. This way.
Well, now, that's quite an elaborate gadget.
Gadget? Mr. Gillis, you are standing before one of the most complex mechanisms known to modern science. Sit here, please.
It looks like the electric chair.
Oh, no danger at all. The intranuclear magnetic flux is completely compensated by the spectrum balance of the... But I suppose that's all Greek to you.
Impressive, though.
Now, just let me adjust these high-potential diatomic electrodes.
Gee, all those dials, control knobs, tubes, coils, it's amazing.
Oh, believe me, every one of them has a purpose. Now, just relax, Mr. Gillis. You won't feel a thing.
Good luck, Dad.
So that's it.
What's it?
The protonic balance of gamma waves indicates a strong deviation in the vicinity of the heart.
You mean it's heart trouble?
Precisely.
Well, go on, then. Twist a couple of knobs and cure it.
Oh, I'm afraid it's not that simple. The machine is only set now for diagnosis. You notice I'm recording the readings of all these dials. I'll have to spend several hours computing your health vibration factor. That's why the treatments are somewhat expensive.
How expensive, Dr. Conlon?
$50 apiece.
$50 apiece?
Well, after all, Mr. Gillis, your health is an important thing.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Dr. Conlon. Now, how many treatments will be necessary, do you think?
Well, that varies. Well, that's all, Mr. Gillis. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll start you down that happy road to joyous health.
Well, that's very generous of you.
Not at all, not at all. The greatest pleasure in life, gentlemen, comes from helping to alleviate human suffering. You can go out this door.
Do I pay you, Dr. Conlon?
No hurry at all, Mr. Gillis. Tomorrow will be fine. Good day, gentlemen.
Bye, Dr. Conlon, and thank you.
By the tarnation. Of all the phony swindles, that takes the cake.
Yeah, probably a highly effective act, though, with somebody who doesn't know better.
Trouble of all thing.
I was hoping he'd pick that. That's why I mentioned the pain in the left arm. By the way, Dr. Gillespie, did you by any chance notice that spot on the back of his hand?
Yes, I did. And apparently you got the same idea I did.
I wonder if he's used that machine on himself.
Well, I don't know, Jimmy, but he certainly ought to.
I tell you, gentlemen, when I heard about it, I simply sat down and blanched. I really did. I blanched.
All right, Carew, we heard you. You blanched. Who told you about it?
Why, Miss Park... let's just say a little bird told me.
You mean a big, long-nosed buzzard named Parker?
Oh, dear.
Well, even though you've heard what we're planning, Dr. Carew, I don't understand why you're so upset about it.
I am more than upset, Dr. Kildare. I'm utterly prostrated. By the very idea of dragging the name of Blair Hospital into a sensational newspaper story. Why, it's unthinkable.
Well, it's the best way I know of putting this Dr. Conlon out of business. Oh, sure, there are legal angles to stop him, but there are also loopholes. But when this story is printed, he can't dodge the publicity.
Publicity? Oh, I shudder to think of it.
And we'll get publicity, plenty of it, with 3 top diagnosticians in the country involved in it. Dr. Gillespie, Dr. Patoli, and Dr. Mason, with the name of Blair Hospital featured.
Dr. Kildare, I absolutely forbid you to go on with this scheme.
Dr. Carew, there's a Mrs. Brady upstairs in this hospital waiting to undergo surgery next week. It's very doubtful that the operation is going to help her. 4 months ago, it would have.
I fail to see just what Mrs. Brady has to do with it.
4 months ago, Mrs. Brady was being swindled by Dr. Conlon's so-called diagnostiscope. And she only came to us after it was too late. She's not the only victim, nor is Conlon the only crook.
Very well, Dr. Kildare. But it's simply not our responsibility.
Well, I feel it's my responsibility.
Now, just a minute.
Carew, shut up.
Dr. Gillespie.
Jimmy and I are going ahead with this whether you like it or not.
Oh?
But I'll tell you what we'll do.
Yes?
We'll include a paragraph in the article stating that you were opposed to the idea.
Oh, well, in that case... Oh, good heavens, no. Why, it would ruin me. Oh, dear.
You know, there's another interesting angle in this that we haven't followed up yet. Although he doesn't know it, Conlon has a well-advanced sarcoma. Unless he's treated very soon by a legitimate doctor, he won't live a year.
We return to the story of Dr. Kildare in just a moment. Continue with the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
You know something, Jimmy?
What, sweetie?
You're a rat.
Oh, and I was hoping you wouldn't find out. Well, tell me, is it something specific or just a rat in general?
It's very specific, and if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you.
Now, what could I have done?
Good morning, Dr. Gillespie.
Morning, Miss Berta. Morning. Jimmy?
How's your heart this morning, Daddy?
Well, not too bad. Sunny. Except for a few stray electromagnoprotons in the right ventricle.
What?
Our Mr. Gillis is beginning to emerge from the dark ages of medicine, that's all.
Oh, that Dr. Conlon racket.
Right.
How's the plan working out?
Okay so far. Daddy and I have another appointment with him at 10 this morning. We sat up last night until after midnight working on the newspaper release.
I know. That's what I was talking about a couple of minutes ago. Well, I'd better get to work.
Now, wait a minute. What do you mean?
Jimmy, we had a date last night.
Holy mackerel, I forgot all about it.
Yes, I know. See you later.
I never thought I'd see the day when a son of mine would treat such a beautiful girl with such a lack of consideration.
Oh, do you know, I forgot it completely. I guess I'm really in the doghouse now.
I doubt that, Jimmy. I think Diana has enough understanding to put up with your little eccentricities.
Eccentricities? Look who's talking.
Well, yeah, I can get away with it, on the grounds of senility.
I see.
I'm referred to as a grand old man by these idiots around here. Speaking of idiots.
Good morning, Doc. Sir.
Wayman, what are you doing in here? You're supposed to be downstairs.
Yeah, I know, but as long as I may win $60, I took the chance.
$60? How?
Well, everybody around the hospital is saying that if Dr. Conlon finds out that you're a doctor, you follow me, Dr. Kildare?
I guess so, Wayman.
Yeah, well, they're betting if he finds out, then Dr. Conlon will use that there, the machine to electrocute Dr. Gillespie.
By the great horn spoon.
I'm betting he won't.
Oh, well, anyway, it proves your loyalty to Dr. Gillespie.
Oh, loyalty's got nothing to do with it. I'm getting 3-to-1 odds.
Just sit back now and relax, Mr. Gillis. Let the healing, life-giving alpha-protonic miracle rays flow through your autonomic nervous system.
Yes, indeed. That's $50 a flow.
Ah, but the reward, Mr. Gillis, freedom from sickness, abundance of energy, a 100% joy in living. What do a few pennies matter?
Oh, you're absolutely right, Dr. Conlon. Money isn't everything. But are you entirely certain there's no danger in this treatment?
Yeah, I'd hate to have my autonomic nervous system blow out a fuse.
Well, there's not a thing to worry about, gentlemen. Everything is compensated, and I computed the setting very carefully. You see, right now, the machine is removing the inductive microfarad excess from the heart and distributing it between the thyroid and the left kidney.
I see.
That's why it's so important to make accurate computations. We don't dare remove too many microfarads from the heart or add too many to the kidney.
Well, we certainly don't. Might start a chain reaction and I'd just up and disintegrate.
Well, I hardly think that could happen. But it would cause trouble. Well, the 5 minutes are up. That's the first treatment.
$50 for 5 minutes. What a racket.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Oh, you'll get used to Father's little jokes, Dr. Conlon. By the way, did you make out that diagnostic report I phoned about this morning?
Why, yes, I did. It's right here on the table. I really don't see the importance of it, though. It's the cure that counts.
Well, Father has his eccentricities, you know.
Yeah, here you are.
Well, thanks.
Did you sign, Jimmy?
Diagnosis, angina pectoris and myocardial deterioration. Yes, it's signed, Dr. Gillespie.
Dr. Gillespie?
That's right. And I'm Dr. Kildare. We're both on staff with Blair Hospital.
What's the meaning of this?
As far as you're concerned, it means you're through swindling people out of their lives and money with that phony hookup of vacuum tubes and condensers.
You can't prove anything. You're bluffing.
You think so? As you may know, Dr. Gillespie is one of the leading internists in this country. Before we came here yesterday, he was examined by 2 other top men and myself and pronounced physically fit, including his heart.
So what? You doctors make mistakes all the time with your medieval methods of diagnosis.
We'll let the public decide how medieval they are. Tomorrow morning, 3 of the city's biggest newspapers will carry a full-page feature with photostats of the diagnostic reports, including yours, cardiograms, x-rays, along with our story of the way you operate.
I'll sue you. I'll sue both of you in Blair Hospital for $1 million.
I don't think so, Mr. Conlon.
There's no law against a man making an honest living.
Honest living. Come on, Dr. Gillespie. I'm getting a little sick.
All right, Jimmy. All right. Hey, see you in jail, Conlon.
Oh, no, you won't.
I'll beat it. Wait and see.
By the way, Mr. Conlon, I feel it's my duty to warn you that you're a very sick man.
What are you talking about?
That spot on your hand. It's a sarcoma.
What?
You'd better get the best medical attention you can find, and as soon as possible.
You're crazy. You're lying.
Think what you like. You've been told. Goodbye.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Gentlemen, I hope you're exercising due discretion in this matter.
Discretion, Guru? We've thrown it to the winds.
Dr. Gillespie.
We're referring to Conlon as a charlatan and a mountebank.
Oh, no.
Yep. A liar, a swindler, a blackguard, and a crook.
Oh, good heavens. Our legal department specifically cautioned against vilification or terms of opprobrium.
Don't worry, Dr. Carew. There'll be nothing in the story but facts, and facts that can be proved. He won't get anywhere if he does file a libel suit.
Please. I shudder to contemplate even the possibility of his filing a suit. Why, at the very thought of coming face to face with that creature,
You blanch.
Well, I certainly quail. After all,
Oh, hi, Diana.
Dr. Kildare, Dr. Conlon is here to see you.
Did you say Conlon?
Yes, Dr. Carew.
Oh. Tell Conlon to come in, Miss Vernon. And then find some smelling salts for Carew. The alpha potention of his pancreas has short-circuited across his pituitary.
Well, gentlemen, now that you've made a complete examination, are you still of the same opinion? It's still the same diagnosis?
Oh, no question about it, Conlon. It's a sarcoma.
Well, am I right in assuming it can be cured by an operation?
Surgery's out of my line. That's Kildare's field.
Yes, it can be removed by surgery, Mr. Conlon. It's not a simple operation, but done at this time, prognosis is very favorable.
Dr. Kildare, would you be willing to perform this operation in spite of your personal feelings?
I'm a doctor, and as such, I have very clear-cut responsibilities toward my patients. Under the circumstances you mentioned, you'd be a patient. It's as simple as that. Personal feelings are out of it.
How much would it cost?
I'm on staff here. You'll have to discuss cost with the business office. However, Dr. Gillespie and I have a price of our own that you'll have to meet.
What do you mean?
I'll operate in return for your signing a complete detailed confession of your swindling activities.
You must think I'm crazy. Why, with something like that, they could probably send me up.
All right, Conlon. Then I suggest you find another physician. The newspaper article will still be effective even without the confession.
I've already been to 2 other doctors today. Neither one of them would operate. They both told me to come to you.
I can have a stenographer sent up from the office if you'd care to dictate it, Mr. Conlon.
All right. I know when I'm beat. I'll have it for you later this afternoon.
Good.
At least I'll have my life.
Which is more than Mrs. Brady will. Check into the hospital at 9 o'clock in the morning.
All right, thanks. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Well, Jimmy, I guess that does it.
Yes. At least it's about all we can do. From here on, it's up to the authorities.
And the public. And the public. They're the real judge and jury.
I think I can predict their verdict in this case. It's just too bad we can't smoke all the Conlons out into the open. Oh, well, you fight it where you find it, and that's the best you can do.
And it's enough, Jimmy. It's enough. No matter how you look at it, life is pretty much a matter of struggling, fighting. And it will be so for a long time to come. That smooth, easy road to joyous living is still a figment of an electro-redonic dream. Come on, let's go to lunch.
In just a moment, we will return to the story of Dr. Kildare. Once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Well, Jimmy, getting married or going to a funeral?
Neither, as a matter of fact. We've got a date with Diana, I hope. She been here yet?
No. What's the idea? To impress her with your dazzling attire? Gorgeous raiment?
Oh, not exactly, but it does feel good to change from a white coat to a black tie once in a while, as long as it's not too often.
Where are you going?
Supper at the Starlight Room. Again, I hope.
She wasn't put out with you in the first place. I know women.
Cynic.
Good evening, Dr. Gillespie. Jimmy.
Nice.
You like it?
Love it.
Me. If I were only 20 years younger. But that's life. Well, I'm going to bed. You're going out. Have a good time.
We will.
Good night. Look, sweetie, awfully sorry about last night, but we got involved in that newspaper story, and, well, I'm just sorry, that's all.
Jimmy, you're a born crusader, and you'll never change.
Incurable, huh?
I'm afraid so. And you know something?
What?
I wouldn't want you to change.
All right, sweetie, then I'll make a confession.
What, Jimmy?
I couldn't change.
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. This program was written by Les Crutchfield and directed by William P. Russo. Original music was composed and conducted by Walter Schumann. Supporting cast included Ted Osborne, Georgia Ellis, Ed Max, Sarah Selby, and Raymond Burr. Dick Joy speaking.
HOJO Radio, where the classics come alive.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. Or whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trust. I will exercise my art solely for the cure of...
The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. In just a moment, the story of Dr. Kildare. Now, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Hello there.
Why, hello.
I'm Dr. Kildare. Dr. Henderson's been called out of town. I'm going to be your doctor for this afternoon.
In that case, Dr. Kildare, I'm going to be your nurse for this afternoon.
Good.
I'm Miss Thompson. Welcome to first floor receiving ward.
Thank you.
I don't suppose you'll find this as exciting as that diagnostic clinic up in the clouds with Dr. Gillespie.
Oh, you're wrong, Miss Thompson. First floor receiving a world of screaming sirens and screeching ambulances, vibrant, full of life and action.
Well, our action for the day has been one broken arm and one appendectomy. Mm-hmm. Both patients doing fine, both resting comfortably, and both hate doctors. Here are the charts.
I'll look in on that appendectomy in a while.
Not even a broken thermometer, Doctor.
And frankly, nurse, that's the kind of a day I like to have in receiving. I don't mind looking out this window and not seeing an ambulance.
Hmm?
Miss Thompson, there's a passenger car parked in the ambulance driveway.
Oh, I'd better call the emergency office and tell them to clear that runway. I don't know why anybody'd do a thing like that.
Where's the doctor here?
No, I'm Dr. Kildare.
Doc, you better come quick. I got him out in my car.
Miss Thompson, notify the litter crew.
Come on, Doc, come on. I think he's dying or something.
And come right out with my bag.
Right away, Doctor.
I'd have brought him in myself, Doc, but I didn't want to move him until you had a look at him.
That was the right thing to do.
I guess I shouldn't have come up the ambulance ramp, but I wanted somebody to get to him fast, and I couldn't find the other receiving entrance.
Sure.
We were just getting ready to eat lunch when he folded up. He was suffering something awful. Said his stomach was killing him, so I piled him into my car and drove him right over. It was the nearest place. Thought it might be appendicitis or something.
Good.
This is him, Doc. This is Joe.
All right, let me have a look now.
I'm all right. I'll be all right in a while. I want to get back to my job.
Nurse?
The litter crew's standing by, Doctor.
Good. It's an internal hemorrhage. He's going into shock. I'll need morphine for this man.
Yes, Doctor.
I don't get it, Doc. What is it? What's the matter? Joe's never been sick a day all the time he's worked for me.
Tell me, was he involved in an accident of some kind?
Accident? No. Joe didn't even take his truck out today. Hasn't got any broken bones or anything. I felt for those.
Here's
or
the sedative, Doctor.
Oh, good. Thanks. There. All right, Miss Thompson, put him on the ward right away.
Yes, Doctor.
Until we know how serious this is and what it is, we'll have to keep him here.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Are you a relative of his?
No. Joe works for me. Standard Products. He's one of my drivers. I'm the foreman there. My name's Schumann, Bernice Schumann.
Well, Mr. Schumann, we'll have to admit him. Can you give us his family's address?
Oh, Joe's wife would be scared if a doctor was to call and tell her something happened to Joe. Could I tell Lorraine?
The patient complained of severe stomach pains before he collapsed. That is, according to the man who brought him in.
Mm-hmm. And the patient himself?
Evidently, he's been having recurring symptoms for several months.
I see. Pain seems to be localized?
Yes, in the epigastrium, right between the ensiform and the umbilicus.
Mm-hmm. And what did the x-rays show, Dr. Kildare?
Well, they just came back. Here, take a look.
Uh-huh. Oh. It's a gastric lesion, all right. Diagnosis seems fairly obvious, Jimmy. The patient has a perforated ulcer. You've certainly established that.
He's being prepped for surgery right now. Posterior gastroenterostomy.
Of course, yeah.
You know, Dr. Gillespie, there's an unusual problem here. There's an age incidence involved.
Huh? What do you mean, Jimmy?
Joe Finley's just a kid. Only 24 years old.
24 years old? Oh, good. And he's already worried himself into this serious physical condition.
Well, it happens, but not very often.
It's bad enough for a 40-year-old man to come to me with a stomach that he's been systematically ruining for years. But this... Ugh.
They're ready for you up in surgery, Dr. Kildare.
Oh, thank you, Miss Thompson. Care to go with me, Dr. G?
You bet your bottom dollar I'll go to surgery with you, Jimmy. And after that, I want to be in on this case. I want to know just what kind of life Mr. Joe Finley's been leading to put him in this hospital before he's dry behind the ears.
Oh, Dr. Gillespie, I didn't know you were here yet this morning.
Well, you know what now, Parker. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you manage a phone call to Dr. Kildare? He's probably up in surgery.
Well, he's probably not even here yet. It's early, and I don't think...
I know you don't.
Well, I like that.
I thought you would.
Good morning, Parker.
Oh, Dr. Kildare.
I don't have to ask if he's in.
You certainly do not. He's in. Was just about to phone you.
That you, Jimmy?
Good morning, Doctor.
Come in. And shut the door. I don't want any mule-eared nurse listening in on our conversation.
I'll shut it myself.
Yeah, that woman has an awful temper. Don't know how I put up with her all these years.
Too bad.
Well, Jimmy, how's our patient? How'd he get through the night?
Fairly comfortable. No complications.
Well, that's fine. That's one hurdle out of the way.
But this Finley boy, if we're going to get over that second hurdle with him and cure him, we've got to find out what's worrying him and eliminate it. Or he's not going to be cured.
I agree with you. What is it, Parker?
Dr. Kildare, Mr. Schumann's here to see you.
Oh, Dr. Kildare.
Hello, Mr. Schumann. Oh, this is Dr. Gillespie.
Doctor?
How do you do, Mr. Schumann?
Dr. Gillespie and I were just discussing Joe's case. We hope that you might...
Doctor, I'd like to see Joe. I've got to talk to him.
Something's come up, Mr. Schumann? Something the matter at his home?
No. Oh, I guess you'd find out sooner or later. I can't stop it.
What are you talking about?
Well, I took over Joe's route myself. I started driving it this morning. I had to take over his receipt books, too. Well, he's short. $1,645.
No. Are you sure?
Yeah, he's been tapping it all along the route for months. I stumbled onto it. Wish I hadn't. If he's still got the money, I want to ask him where it is and put it back. We're covered by a bonding company. They'd see he gets the limit for grand larceny if they know.
You're sure he took the money?
That couldn't have been anybody else. Please, can I see him?
I couldn't even allow the police in to see him right now.
Well, all right, I'll drop back later.
Yeah, you do that.
Doc, Joe's an awful nice kid. I hope... Well, let's see.
This is more background on our patient than I hoped for. At least we know what's been worrying him.
I wonder. Suppose we go talk to his wife.
Doesn't seem to be anybody home, Jimmy.
No. Well, I guess we aren't going to meet Lorraine Finley after all,
Come in.
Oh. Mrs. Finley?
Yes. Over here in bed.
Ah. Well, I'm Dr. Gillespie. This is Dr. Kildare.
Oh, yes. Mr. Schumann told me you were taking care of Joe. Joe is going to be all right. He will get better and strong.
We have every reason to hope so, Mrs. Finley. The operation was a complete success, and there are no complications. As yet.
Well, what is it? What's wrong?
Well, one of the contributing factors to Joe's present condition is that he's been terribly worried and upset for a long period of time.
Oh.
And in order for his recovery to become complete, he must be free from that worry when he gets out of the hospital.
It's me. He worries about me all the time.
Now.
I've been sick for such a long time, and Joe's been doing everything for me. And I'm no help to him this way. I know I'm the one who's put him in the hospital. I know it. I know it.
Are you under a physician's care now?
Yes.
Who?
Dr. Klaus Blackthorn's my doctor.
I see.
He's been giving me shots.
Well, what's Dr. Blackthorn's diagnosis?
It's my heart.
Your heart?
But he says I'll be well and up in no time, and I will. And then Joe won't have to worry about me. I promise you that. I'll see that he doesn't worry about me.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Mrs. Findlay, it's been nice meeting you. We have to run along now.
Oh, thank you for coming by and telling me about Joe. I promise you he won't worry about me when he gets out of the hospital.
All right. Goodbye, Mrs. Finley.
Goodbye.
Oh, thank you again.
Did you see it?
Yes. Pallor, obvious temperature, dilated pupils.
I don't even need a stethoscope for that one. Either my 40 years of practice have taught me nothing, or Dr. Blackthorn is revolutionizing the medical profession. Heart trouble. Yeah. That girl's suffering from acute anemia.
You're right. Doctor, it looks as if we found another hurdle. This one is probably the biggest of them all.
We return to the story of Dr. Kildare in just a moment. Continue with the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Schumann speaking.
Oh, this is Dr. Kildare at Blair Hospital.
Oh, yeah, Doc. How's Joe?
Oh, Joe's doing fine, just fine. That's why we called you. Here, Dr. Gillespie wants to talk to you.
Suppose Joe Finley could somehow get enough money to replace what he lacks in his account.
Huh? You mean you talked to him and he's got it?
We,
I knew Joe would...
Wait a minute now. Could the money be replaced without anyone ever finding it out?
Oh, don't you worry, Doc.
No.
If Joe's got that dough, I know just what to do. Just what to do.
Good, Schumann, good. I'm sending a messenger over with $1,645. Parker? Parker!
I'm sorry, Dr. Gillespie, I heard you, but I was busy.
Busy?
Busy.
You haven't been busy for years. You have the softest job in this entire hospital.
I'll have you know the other nurses refer to this assignment as the Chamber of Horrors.
Well, that's only because you're here, Parker. Now listen carefully, please. Here, take this check down to the bank and get it cashed.
Dr. Gillespie, this is for $1,645.
Do what I say. When you cash the check, take the money to a man named Bernard Schumann at Standard Products Company. You know where it is. Get out of here. Go on.
Oh,
Get.
Well, playing a long shot again, aren't we?
Well, Jimmy, our job is to cure this Finley boy. Permanently, if possible. And sometimes a cure calls for extreme measures. Somehow, from what people like his wife and his boss say about him, I don't feel that Joe Finley is such a long shot.
He certainly has his troubles. What about his wife, Doctor?
Any ideas?
Just one. We should bring her to the hospital right away. She needs competent and sustained medical treatment.
That is exactly my thought, Jimmy. That's exactly my thought. And this time, Blair General can stand the bill for service rendered.
Right. I'll send an ambulance out for her right away. Well, how do you like this room, Mrs. Finley? Think you can be happy here for a while?
Oh, Dr. Kildare, it's just wonderful.
Good.
It's so white and clean. Why, I feel better already. Are you sure this is what Joe wanted?
Well, it was his idea that we bring you here.
But the money.
No, don't you worry about that.
Oh, he works so hard and he spends all of our money on me. It isn't fair. I don't know why he doesn't hate me.
Well, now it isn't your fault you became ill.
Oh, but I shouldn't be such a burden to Joe. That's all I've been lately, burden.
You know, I want to tell you something. You and Joe have the most wonderful thing in the world, a deep love for each other. And if things like this were going to make any difference between you, it would have happened a long time ago. Now, what you both have to do is try and get well as fast as you can.
I want to. I've always wanted to.
You just keep saying that, and you'll see. In a few weeks, you can take up right where you left off.
Is Joe very far from here now?
Just down the hallway.
Oh, can I see him? Oh, please, can I see him just for a minute?
Dr. Gillespie's in talking with him now, but when he's finished, I'll have you wheeled down the hall to visit. But just for a few minutes.
Dr. Kildare, I always thought there was nobody in the world like Joe. But I know now there are two others. You and Dr. Gillespie.
How do you feel, Joe?
Kind of worn out.
Well, what you need's a good long rest.
I can't rest, Doc. I got to get up and get out of here. How long will it take?
Well, without any complications, I think we could have you on your feet in about 10 days.
I can't stay here that long.
Oh, now 10 days doesn't seem to me like an abnormally big piece out of a lifetime, Joe.
I have to get out of here in a couple of days. I need money. I got responsibilities.
Joe, your body will only stand so much worry, and so much work, and so many problems. Do you have any idea why you're here?
It's my luck. It always runs out on me. If it isn't one thing, it's another.
It wasn't just bad luck. An ulcer is a boring process against the stomach lining. It's like having a drill pressed against your skin. Every time you worry, it's like giving the drill another twist. Pretty soon it gets right through. It leaves a hole that has to be repaired. And that's what's happened to you.
What am I supposed to do? Just forget everything? Every day I lie here, I don't make money, and I need money bad.
I know. Just how bad. If you're worrying about that money at Standard Products, don't give it another thought.
What?
It's all taken care of. Replaced.
How did you find out? Who told you?
Your foreman, Mr. Schumann.
But who put it back? Did he?
I did.
I'll make it up to you, Doc, if I work overtime every day for the rest of my life, so help me.
No. Don't make another problem out of this, Joe. We'll figure out some way for you to pay this loan when you're feeling better.
Doc, I guess it's up to me to tell you what I did with that money.
I already know. You paid for medical treatment for your wife. How did you ever go to Dr. Klaus Blackthorne?
Our landlady told us about him. Blackthorne was a big doctor at the State University. We were lucky to have him in our neighborhood. He said it would take a while, but that he'd cure Lorraine faster and cheaper than anyone could.
Joe, there are no shortcuts in medicine. How much did Blackthorne charge you for shots that he was giving your wife?
$10. 3 a week. Almost as much as I made. That's why I had a...
I see. Well, here's Kildare.
Hello, Joe. I have someone I'd like you to meet.
Lorraine.
Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe, honey. Oh, honey.
Let's see. 231, 233, 235. Ah, here it is.
Look at the hallway. Well, it hasn't been swept in a year.
There isn't any name on it, but this should be the door.
Hey, there's a card in the corner. Dr. Klaus Blackthorne, specializing in all diseases and non-surgical ailments. There. Let's see this doctor, Jimmy.
Well, nobody in the waiting room.
Waiting room? Looks more like a flop house.
Hello? Hello? Anyone here?
Excuse me, gentlemen. I was busy in my laboratory.
Doing what?
Oh, some private experiments too complicated to explain. Now then, what can I do for you?
I'm Dr. Kildare, and this is Dr. Gillespie from Blair General.
Oh, yes, I see. Well, I'm quite busy now. Some other time, perhaps.
Sit down. Sit down!
Dr. Blackthorne, do you have a license to practice medicine?
Well, of course. What do you want?
I've checked on you through every available source. You have no license to practice medicine. You're not a doctor, and you've never been one.
Gosh, you're mistaken. Look there, my diploma on the wall. I'm a graduate of the State University.
I see the diploma, and it's as phony as you are. You never were in or near the State University. I spoke with their registrar an hour ago.
Well, I don't see why I should be subjected to...
Shut up, you charlatan.
Did you ever treat a patient named Lorraine Finley?
Finley? No, I never heard of her.
She said you did treat her, and we prefer to believe her. That girl has a malignant and serious case of anemia. She could have died under your care.
Well, I did her no harm, just health shots.
Health shots? But you should see how unhealthy this girl is now. Well, she's so weak she can't even walk.
Well, I must have made the wrong diagnosis. Now, listen, gentlemen.
Blackthorne, you've been doing the most dangerous and despicable thing a human being can do. You've been posing behind the name of doctor and giving treatment to people who trusted you. It'll take months to undo the harm you've spread in this neighborhood.
Well, gentlemen, let us have a little business conference.
Now, don't you dare mention bribery to us. Why, by the great horn spoon, I should beat you into insensibility.
Now, please.
The penalty for posing and practicing as a doctor in this state is 10 years. Dr. Gillespie and I are going to testify against you, and I hope you get every year of it. I only wish it were 100 years.
We're only wasting time with this parasite, Jimmy. Let's call the police.
No. Wait a minute.
You take one step out of that chair, and I'll break it over your head.
Look, I'll give you money. I made a mistake. Gentlemen, I'll do anything.
Hello, operator? Give me the police department.
In just a moment, we will return to the story of Dr. Kildare. And now, once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Parker, grab one of these packages quick before I drop them.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Gillespie. I couldn't get to you in time.
Oh, it's not your fault, I suppose. Give me a hand, we'll pick them up.
Now, what are all these things?
Well, in that package is a dismantled, genuine glass trout rod. And in that one are 6 mystery novels. And in this green one is a heavy-duty hammock, complete with canopy.
What in the world?
Haven't you ever heard of taking a vacation?
Frankly, no.
Well, I'm sorry I brought it up.
What did I hear about a vacation?
Oh, Jimmy. Come in here. I want to show you something.
Just a minute, Dr. G. I have something I want to show you. Have you seen today's paper?
No? Why? Well, what's in it?
This.
Let me see it. Oh. Today in municipal court, this one?
Mm-hmm.
Klaus Blackthorne, who posed for more than 2 years as a registered physician, was sentenced to 10 years in the state prison at... Well, Jimmy, I can't say I'm sorry. I hope this will be a warning to other men not to tamper with the medical profession.
Hear, hear. And did you know that Mrs. Joe Finley is being discharged today?
Yeah, sure, Jimmy. I saw her early this morning. She's quite a gal.
She's going to join Joe up in Connecticut. He wrote her a letter last week and said by the end of the year he expects to be a partner in the store he's working in.
He probably will be, too, Jimmy. He's got a lot of ambition. Now, if you will pardon me, I'll have to go on my vacation. Parker, give me a hand.
Dr. Gillespie, you didn't tell anybody about your vacation. Where are you going?
Where I always go on my vacation.
Huh?
Right here in the office. Now, come on, set me up this hammock.
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. This program was written by E. Jack Newman and John Michael Hayes and directed by Joe Bigelow. Original music was composed and conducted by Walter Schumann. Supporting cast included Virginia Gregg, Paul Dubov, Isabel Jewell, Paul Fries, Ann Diamond, and Jay Novello. Dick Joy speaking.
Our next broadcast is a radio mystery drama which ran from May 16th, 1942 until September 27th, 1955 on CBS Radio Network. The show was also broadcast in Chicago and over Armed Forces Radio. On the West Coast, it was sponsored by the Signal Oil Company. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil program. The program was also adapted into a film noir series by Columbia Pictures in 1944. Each episode began with the sound of footsteps and a person whistling. The haunting signature theme tune was composed by Wilbert Hatch and featured Dorothy Roberts whistling with an orchestra. We present to you The Whistler on HOJO Radio.
Have you heard the strange tales of The Whistler?
Here's the sanitarium, Harvey.
Is he still unconscious?
Yes. Oh, here comes the attendant.
We're all ready for him, Mrs. Jackson. Take his feet, Harold. Oh, you had the time, huh?
Yes, I had to give him a good one on the chin.
You'll have to watch him. He may try to get away when he comes to.
Don't you worry. We've got a lot of tough cases in.
Don't let him know who brought him here. And don't let him know I had anything to do with it.
Leave everything to us.
It's a 2-hour drive back to the city, Donna.
Yes. Well, I'll phone you tomorrow.
Good. If anything happens, we'll call you.
Thank you. Good night.
Saturday night, and again, CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who step into the shadows. And so I tell you again tonight, one of the favorite tales of Death Has a Thirst. The long black car with the handsome man at the wheel and the woman beside him returns to the highway and speeds on through the night. The man and the woman sit staring ahead, lost in thought. The man is Harvey Davis, and the woman is Mrs. Victor Jackson, wife of the unconscious man recently deposited at the sanitarium.
I'm sorry I dragged you into this, Harvey. But I had to have some help, and I knew I could depend on you.
It's all right, Donna. I only hope it'll do some good. Victor never drank a drop while we were in school.
He didn't drink when we were first married. After his father died and Victor took over the business, he started.
Well, it's a huge concern, and I guess he just couldn't take it. He always had an inferiority complex.
But the thing that hurts me most is that the drinking has completely changed him. He's suspicious of every move I make. He accuses me of the most disgraceful things. Accuses me of lying to him about everything, of being in love with other men. Oh, countless things.
Other men? What men?
Any man I speak to. Even you, Harvey.
Me? Well, after all, if he's going to be suspicious of any man, it would logically be me.
Why?
You brought most of your troubles to me. He knows that. I'm as good a victim as anybody. And he knows I'm terribly fond of you.
Are you, Harvey?
From the first day I met you, I said, here's a woman. A strong woman. Maybe she'll develop some backbone in my willy-nilly friend, Victor.
It's very nicely put, Harvey.
Well, let's hope the sanitarium does him some good.
Oh, if it doesn't, I don't know what I'll do.
Don't worry, Donna. Just remember, I'll do anything for you.
Thank you, Harvey.
Toward midnight, the black sedan arrives at the Jackson mansion. The butler greets Harvey and Donna at the door.
Evening, Mrs. Jackson. Evening, Mr. Davis. Dr. Saunders is in the library, ma'am. He's waiting for you.
Dr. Saunders? At this hour? What on earth does he want?
You'd better see him, Donna. Maybe he knows.
How could he? Come with me, Harvey.
Of course.
Oh, good evening, Dr. Saunders.
Evening, Donna. Evening, Harvey.
Hello, Doctor.
This is quite a surprise.
Yes, I can imagine.
Harvey and I, we've just been for a little drive. I felt I needed some air.
That's so?
Did you come to see Victor?
Victor isn't here.
Really?
But I know where he is.
You do?
He's in a cheap dive, a rooming house downtown.
What?
But that isn't possible.
It's where he always goes.
Well, you're wrong this time, Doctor. I took him by force to a sanitarium tonight. Harvey helped me. Maybe they can do something for him.
You told the sanitarium I was his physician, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Well, they called me an hour ago. He's escaped.
What?
They said he came to and broke away from them. I know where he usually goes, and I can find him. That is, if you want me to find him.
What are you inferring, Doctor?
Well, Donna, I know what you've been through with Victor. I know what a trial it's been. I've tried, you've tried, we've all tried everything we could to make him stop. Not many women would have gone through what you have. Well, we've dragged him through before. We'd probably do it again. I just thought perhaps you'd had enough, that's all.
And you know where he is?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I know.
Well, then find him. I'm determined to cure him if I have to take him to a desert island.
It's an idea. A long ocean trip might be the answer. You'd have to hog time.
I could do that, too.
Very well, I'll have a talk with him and phone you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Doctor. Oh,
No. You've done your best, Donna.
oh, but I feel so hopeless. I don't know what to do next.
Well, try the desert island.
Why not? It might work, mightn't it? Harvey, you can help. Your yacht. Dr. Saunders may be right. At least it's worth a try.
I wonder.
Oh, please, Harvey, it may be the answer.
I can't get away just now, but if you're determined, you're welcome to the yacht.
Please. I'd feel better if you came along.
All right, Donna, I'll go. I'll arrange it. But Victor won't want to come.
We'll take him aboard by force.
Shanghai him? Well, all right. Just let me know when you find him, and I'll arrange everything. When
When he checked in, he was as drunk as a lord. Well, I'll leave you alone with him, Doc.
Thanks. That hypo will bring him out of this. Thanks a lot. Victor.
What's going on here? Who are you? Get away.
Quiet. Now, take it easy, Victor.
Who are you?
Doc Saunders.
Doc?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you want?
I'll talk to you, Victor. It's very important.
Important? Huh?
Come on, Victor. Snap out of it.
Go. Hey, what's your idea? What you slept in for?
Wake you up. I've got to talk to you.
Oh, hello, Doc. What are you after?
Is your head clear?
I guess so.
All right, then listen to me. You know where you are?
Yeah, my old haunt.
You know how you got here?
Well, let me see. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you where you're going if you don't pull yourself together.
Where?
To the insane asylum.
Did you say asylum?
I did. There's nothing that hastens final mental breakdown, insanity, more than alcohol.
Insanity? Are you just telling me that?
No, I can prove it.
Good Lord.
You want that to happen to you?
Oh, no, but I just can't seem to quit.
You're going away, Vic.
Away? Where?
Sending you on a long voyage with no liquor.
Oh, no. No, you're not.
All right.
I'll get hold of myself.
Yes, you said that before.
Oh, I can take it and leave it alone if I want to.
But you haven't so far. You've gone from bad to worse. Now you're going where you can't get it.
But, Doc, I can't. I'd die. I couldn't stand it.
You stand it and like it if I have to.
No. I won't be pushed around by anyone. I know who's back of this, Donna. She wants to get rid of me. Asylum. That'd suit her fine. She'd like that. So she can cavort around with Harvey and all the others.
Oh, shut up, Vic.
You're all planning to get rid of me. You don't like me.
You're taking a trip.
Get rid of me, you can all share in the estate. Well, you just see how much good it'll do.
Sorry.
Oh.
But you're taking a trip, Victor.
Well, here you are, Victor. Several hundred miles at sea. And worried, too, aren't you, Victor? That talk about insanity really upset you. You believe it, too, don't you?
Victor.
What's this? Where am I? Donna.
Do you feel better, Victor?
Oh, what is this? It's moving. I feel dizzy.
I don't think you're dizzy. We're on a boat, darling.
What boat?
We're on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
A boat? Oh. Doc Saunders. That's what he said. A voyage. It's his idea.
Now, Victor, everything's going to be all right.
I know what you're planning to do. You're planning to kill me. You want to get rid of me. Want me to die.
You won't die.
Whose boat is this?
Harvey's yacht.
Harvey. Now I know it's a plot. Now I know what it's all about. You and Harvey, that's it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Victor. Harvey consented to let me have the yacht.
Is he on board?
Yes.
Of course. You and Harvey. And be a prisoner. What a perfect setup.
You don't mean that, Victor.
I've been suspicious of you two all alone. Who else is on board?
Nobody but the captain and the crew of 4. And Harvey and the doctor.
Where are you taking me?
We're just cruising.
Just cruising. Till you find the right spot.
Right spot for what?
To dump me overboard. No one will ever know, will they? And you'll see I jumped over. It was washed over the side.
Oh, Victor, what has happened to you? You're like a stranger to me. I just don't know you. It doesn't seem possible that you're the man I married. What's happened to you?
Don't you know?
If I only did.
Why, I'll tell you what's the matter. I'm crazy. I'm insane. My grandfather was insane. And undoubtedly my father, and so why not me?
Talking nonsense.
Oh, no. Hasn't Doc Saunders told you? What he knows?
No.
Oh, come now. You three are closer than that.
Stop talking such nonsense. I won't listen.
Well, I'm getting out of this cabin. I can't stand to be cooped up like this.
Please stay for a while, Victor. Please. Here, I brought you some milk. Please drink it.
Oh, milk, huh? Got a funny color to it. It smells strange. What's in it? Arsenic?
It's just plain milk, Victor. Drink it.
Do you like milk, Donna?
Yes, I love milk.
And drink it yourself.
Victor! Oh, all over my dress.
You're trying to poison me, that's it. Now get out of here. Get out.
Victor, please, darling.
Get out. Now, what do you want, Doc? How do you feel, Victor? They're trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me. Who? Donna and Harvey. She just brought me some milk and it had poison in it, and I can tell by the color.
Oh, I think you're imagining things, Victor.
Oh, no, I'm not. They want me out of the way, I can tell.
What made you think the milk was poisoned?
It was a purplish color. Here's the glass. Smell it. Maybe I'm not so crazy after all.
I didn't say you were crazy. I only want you to stop your drinking. Drink may bring it on.
Where did they get the poison?
Oh, come, forget it.
Do you know where they get the poison, Doctor?
See you later, Victor.
Maybe.
Did you send for me, Doctor?
Yes, Donna. Did you take some milk to Victor?
Yes, I did.
What did you put in it?
Why should I put anything in it?
Victor thinks you did.
Why, you should know me better than that, Doctor.
You did put something in it.
Well, yes, I did. Some of that red liquid to make him quiet.
Oh, yes, of course. That's what it was.
He threw it all over me. Oh, I'm thoroughly disgusted, Doctor. I can't go on with him this way. He isn't drinking, but there's something wrong. I decided to give it up as a bad job. I'm going to get a divorce.
Divorce? I'm afraid it's too late for that, Donna.
Too late? Well, what do you mean?
It's something I haven't told you. I've been hoping it wouldn't be necessary, but after the day, I've given up all hope.
Why can't I get a divorce?
You cannot divorce an insane person.
Insane?
Yes, Victor has all the symptoms, and it's liquor that's hastened the crack up. I couldn't be certain as long as he was drinking, but today I realized the truth.
Oh, I'm bewildered. I've never been so shocked in my life. I wish you hadn't told me.
I'm sorry, Donna. I wanted you to be on your guard. You see, he has some strange hallucination about you and Harvey. He thinks you're planning to do away with him.
Do away with him?
Yes.
Oh, but that's ridiculous. I've never had such a thought. Never. But now I'm frightened. Doctor, what about Alice?
Your daughter? Oh, she's all right. I wouldn't worry about her.
But think what this will mean. If this gets out about Victor, it may ruin her whole life.
I can understand that.
Oh, this must never happen. It must remain a secret.
That'll be difficult. It's going to be hard to handle when that craving returns.
I'll think of something. I'll time the way.
Doctor, come quickly. It's Harvey Davis. What's wrong, Captain? Found him in his bunk with a cord around his neck. Good heavens.
It was Victor.
Quiet, Donna. Come along.
Is he dead?
No, he's breathing. We found him just in time. Be all right in a few minutes.
Oh, thank heaven.
Harvey, old man.
Harvey.
Donna, what's wrong? What's happened?
Nothing much, Harvey. Just a little accident. You'll be all right.
Oh, my throat. What's going on?
You don't remember?
No, I was just taking a little nap. I feel like I've been choked.
You better tell him, Donna. Come along, Captain. Captain, have you any liquor aboard?
Yes, Doctor. Several bottles in the locker in my cabin. Let's have a look. I gave it locked because, hey, it's been jimmied. Well, what do you know? It's all gone.
I expected that.
I'll skin those men alive.
Don't blame the men, Captain.
What do you mean? What the devil is that? We did something. Come on. Captain! What is it, man? What's wrong with you?
The boilers blew up. We must have hit a reef. All three of the men's crew were down there. We've got to abandon. I'm hurt bad, Captain.
He's dead.
See to the lifeboat. Round up the others. I'll go below.
Yes, Captain.
Murphy! John! Murphy! Are you there? Good God, what a mess.
I can't imagine.
2 days pass, and the sun beats down relentlessly on the 5 survivors in the open boat. The doctor watches anxiously over the still unconscious captain, and Donna and Harvey keep a constant eye on Victor, who sits alone in the end of the boat, staring at the horizon.
How's the captain, Doctor?
Still holding his own. Must have had a bad fall down that companionway.
I don't think he fell. Huh? It's a good thing you went down after him. Now, we're running low on water. Hope we sight some land today. How much water have you in your canteen, Donna?
Half full.
I say, look over there. What's that?
A ship.
Oh, it's land. An island. Grab an oar, Victor. Come on, Doc. Well, I've looked all around. This place is as barren of food or water as the Sahara Desert. I'm afraid if we do locate any water, it won't be fit to drink.
Oh, there must be water.
What do you care about water? You've got a canteen full of whiskey.
How much water is left?
I have some, and Dr. Saunders has some.
So I'd better get busy. Although my experiences on other items like this haven't been so good.
Well, here's a chance to put your chemistry to use, Harvey. You know the test for lead and zinc.
Yes.
Look, I'll give you 2 vials and some sodium sulfide tablets and potassium chromate. You know the test. When you come to some water, 1 tablet and 10 cc's of the liquid. Dark precipitate means poison.
Yes, I know. Thanks, Doctor. Well, I'll start off and keep a direct line to the other side, wherever that is.
Wait a minute, Harvey. I think I'll go with you.
Why?
Oh, maybe I can help.
I'd go with you, Harvey, but I better keep an eye on the captain. He's the only one who knows where we are. I've got to pull him through.
It's all right, Doc. I don't need any.
I think I'll go anyway.
All right, if you insist, come on.
Harvey, wait. I'm going to.
Why?
Because I want to.
We don't need you.
I'm coming just the same. Please, Harvey, I'd like to come.
All right, let's go. It's certainly hot. How do you feel, Donna?
All right. How far have we come?
Oh, 10 miles, I should say. It's a pretty big island at that. Nothing but desert.
Yeah, you sure those last 2 water holes were poisoned?
Certainly.
They look good to me. I'm getting mighty thirsty.
Better quit drinking that whiskey. It'll only make you thirstier.
Harvey, can I have a little water?
I'm sorry, Donna, but you'll have to suffer it as long as you can. Please wait.
You suppose we'll ever get out of here?
I don't know.
Oh, it's all my fault. What a shame to get you into such a mess. Please forgive me, Harvey.
There's nothing to forgive, Donna. I'd do it again 100 times over. For you.
Would you, Harvey?
Yes. Poor Victor. What a sad thing.
No one must ever know, Harvey. Promise me if we ever get out of this. Promise me you'll never let anyone know.
No one will ever learn from me.
I got him! I got him!
What on earth?
Harvey, he's got a gun.
Where did he get it? Come on.
I got him, look. A lizard, a big one. I knew we'd find something.
Put that down. You can't eat that.
There must be water around here. There must be.
Where'd you get that gun?
Out of the captain's locker.
Better take it easy with those shells. We may need them.
Yeah. Maybe I will. Have a drink?
No.
All right. I'd sure like some water. How about it?
There's just enough for one of us to get back.
Yeah.
And if only one goes back, it'll be Donna.
Donna. How chivalrous. Who's got the water?
I have.
Come on. Let's keep moving.
Well, there's water around here. There must be. I'm going to find it.
Donna, if we don't find water, he's going to start pleading for what you have. No matter how much he raves or pleads, don't give in. Even if he threatens us with that gun, tell him you drank it all. I want you to have the best break out of this.
Thanks, Harvey. I appreciate that.
I found it. Water. I found water.
Hurry, Donna. Hurry.
Well, what about it? What's the test show?
Just like all the rest. Full of lead and zinc and heaven knows what else.
Poison, huh?
Worse yet.
How about some of that water?
What water?
In Donna's canteen.
There isn't any more.
Who drank it?
I did.
You both did, and you left none for me.
You've got your whiskey.
I can't drink whiskey all the time.
You've done pretty well on it for several years.
I've got to have some water.
Harvey warned you.
Harvey. Is that all you think about, Harvey? You should have married Harvey.
Perhaps you're right about that.
Are you sure that water is poison?
I'm not drinking it, and I'm thirsty, too.
Maybe you're just waiting.
For what?
I don't know. But I can imagine a few things.
We'd better stop here for the night. Are you very tired, Donna?
Awfully.
Better try to get some sleep. Where are you going, Victor?
I'm just going to look around. I may find something. I'm hungry.
I'm going to build a fire with this brush. Don't get too far away.
I'll be around. Don't worry.
Keep a close watch on your canteen, Donna. I have an idea what he's up to. I'll try not to sleep, but I'm dead tired.
I'll do my best, Harvey.
If he goes to sleep, I'll try to get that gun away from him. Good night, Donna.
Good night, Harvey.
Night comes on. The fire burns low, and only a red glow remains. Donna, in spite of herself, drops off into a sound sleep. Victor stirs from his place 20 feet away, looks about him, and crawls silently toward the sleeping Donna. Puts out his hand and...
Put it down, Victor. I want some water. There isn't any water.
I think there is.
You heard what I said.
You're lying. You have got some.
Victor, what is it?
You've got some water and you won't give me any.
Harvey.
I'm wise to you. You don't want me to have any. You want me to die. You're in love with each other.
You're drunk.
What if I am in love with Harvey? What of it?
Donna.
You want me out of the way. Neither one of you is very thirsty. No, because you had some water. And you got it out of that pool. You're lying to me. It's good water.
You're crazy.
You sneaked it out while I was asleep. Tried to make me think it was a poison. I ought to shoot you.
All right, Victor. If you're so positive, go on down and drink out of the pool.
That gives me an idea. I'll just find out if that water's poison. Go drink some of it, Harvey.
Certainly not.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
It's poison, Victor.
Go ahead, drink, or I'll shoot.
No, don't do it, Harvey. No.
Then supposing you drink out of it, Donna.
Very well, I will.
No, Victor, it'll kill her. Wait, Donna. I'll drink it. You're a fool, Victor. Come along.
This is going to be interesting.
Not as much as you think.
Get off of me, I'll shoot you. Maybe that'll hold you, Harvey.
Uh-huh.
It's all right, Donna. Just hit my shoulder. Well, I hope you're satisfied now that it is poison, Victor.
Maybe. But you two are getting water someplace.
Please. Please, don't take that canteen, Victor. It's for Donna.
All right. You two are getting this water from someplace. Hand over that canteen, Donna.
No, I said that's for Donna.
I'll take care of it. For all of us. And if either of you make a move toward me, I'll shoot you both. Good night. And sleep tight. Both of you.
The night slowly fades and the chill of dawn creeps in. Then, as the sun comes over the horizon, Harvey stirs fretfully, opens his eyes and looks for Donna. She sits beyond the dead embers of the campfire, her hands folded before her, staring blankly into space. Harvey raises up with a start and moves quickly to her side. Victor is sprawled on his back, the hilt of a hunting knife protruding from his chest.
Donna. Good Lord, what's happened to Victor?
He's dead.
Dead? That knife. That shoes, Donna.
Yes, mine. Now no one will ever know.
No.
I had to.
Dr. Saunders. Here we are.
Thank heaven we found you. We sighted the ship and built a signal fire. They're waiting for... What's this?
Oh, Victor must have gone crazy in the night and stabbed himself.
I see. He's dead, Harvey. How'd this happen?
I told you. He must have stabbed himself.
No, he didn't. No, I stabbed him.
Huh?
It's my knife. I got to take it. I did. I crept over and stabbed him.
I see. When did you do this, Donna?
It was not more than an hour ago. I couldn't help it, Doctor. I couldn't help
Please,
it.
Donna, please. You've nothing to fear.
I didn't want anybody to know. Because of Alice. My daughter.
They won't know, Donna. You didn't kill him.
What?
He's been dead for at least 3 hours.
What do you mean?
Look at his eyes. Look at his lips and his tongue and the swelling of his stomach. You test this pool, Harley.
Yes. Every pool we've come to has been heavy in mineral content. I warned him, but he thought we were lying to him. Last night he pulled a gun and took down his canteen. There wasn't very much in it, but it was all we had.
He's been drinking whiskey. Naturally, just a little water wouldn't satisfy him. So he drank from the pool. Yeah, poor Victor. I guess it's just as well.
Don't worry, Donna. No one will ever know. Will they, Doctor?
There's nothing to tell. Except Victor Jackson poisoned himself in a fit of extreme thirst.
No, Donna. No one will ever know. You did your best. You tried hard to make things work out. But somehow fate seemed to take things right out of your hands. But you know better, don't you, Harvey? You know what happened. Tell us. Tell us, Harvey.
After Victor took the canteen from Donna and drank the few swallows in it, he fell off to sleep. Then I took the canteen and filled it from the poison pool. I knew he'd wake up with a greater thirst. And he did. But I'm not sorry. He's better off. And I found I do love Donna. And I'll take care of her for the rest of our days.
There you are. From drama to tragedy, and from tragedy to a beautiful love story wherein they live happily ever after. I know.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual tale. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Stay tuned to HOJO Radio.
Have you heard the strange tales of the Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
I didn't ask you to marry me. You asked me. And you said you were going to get a job so you wouldn't be dependent on your mother. I was happy then, Barry. And proud of you.
Another Saturday night, and again, CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the weird story of the man who waited. A huge estate spreads out before you, the ancestral home of the Bartletts, set amid the peaceful New England countryside. The war has not yet come. It is 1937. The estate is ruled by Lydia Bartlett, a cold, cantankerous woman ill with heart trouble. Into this unhappy setting has come young Genevieve Garrison to act as secretary companion to bedridden old Lydia Bartlett. Lydia has but one child, a son, Barry, recently returned from a tour of Europe. The handsome young Barry is immediately attracted to lovely Genevieve, and after a month has passed...
Genevieve? Genevieve, where are you?
I'm up here, Barry.
Oh, I've been looking all over for you. So this is your hiding place.
No one ever comes up here, except the birds.
It's mighty windy up here in the tower.
I love it. It sings to me.
Yeah? You're a strange girl. You know, I think you're part of this wilderness. Some wild thing that shows itself for an instant and then disappears. That's your charm for me, Genevieve. That unattainable wildness that lures me.
Please, Barry.
Oh, I know Mother'd have a fit if she knew I were in love with you.
Then you must be sensible, Barry. After all, she controls the estate. And you'd have nothing if you were to make her angry.
Your eyes are almost black when I see them so close. Are you frightened, Genevieve?
No. That is...
Your heart's beating so fast.
I know. Let me go, Barry.
Are you frightened? Or is it that...
Yes, I am frightened.
Will you marry me, darling?
Barry.
I mean, would you marry me if I were able?
Yes, Barry, yes. You know that.
I'll have to find some sort of a job if we marry. Mother would cut me off in a minute. You know how she feels about marriage.
Yes. We'd best forget about it, Barry. I wouldn't want to cause any trouble between you and your mother. You better go now.
Oh, you're too lovely for words, Genevieve.
Barry.
I love you, darling.
And so 3 months pass by. Then one day, Genevieve steps into Lydia Bartlett's bedroom.
Did you call me, Mrs. Bartlett?
I certainly did. Where have you been? Put the pillow behind my back and lift my head a little more.
There. Is that better now?
Yes, it'll do. I want to talk to you.
What about?
About Annie, the maid.
Oh.
Has that young stable boy been visiting Annie again?
Well, I think she sees him on her days off.
Well, I want it understood once and for all that I'll not tolerate any such nonsense under my roof. It must stop.
But I think Annie would leave if you forbid her to see the boy. She's really very much in love with him.
Love, bosh. Silly nonsense.
Mrs. Bartlett, you loved your husband, didn't you?
My marriage was arranged by my parents. It only lasted a short while because he died. But it was a nightmare while it did last. Love? There's no such thing.
I'm sorry I mentioned it.
And there's something else I want to talk to you about.
Yes? What is it?
What's wrong with you lately? You don't look well. You'd better see Dr. Ansted.
I have seen him.
And what did he say?
Nothing serious. It's, well, a slight heart murmur. He gave me some medicine. I'll be all right.
Rather take care of yourself.
I will.
Where's the newspaper?
Here.
Anything in it? Read it to me.
Well, there's a tea, a charity affair with the proceeds going to the baby shelter.
Baby shelter. Women are fools. Well, go on. What else?
Oh, a number of engagements and several wedding announcements and... Oh.
What's the matter?
Well...
What is it?
Well, it's something about your son.
Barry? What do you mean? Read it.
Seen frequently together are Miss Joan Marvell and Mr. Barry Bartlett, son of Lydia Bartlett. An early announcement is anticipated.
Oh, fool! He's out of his mind. How dare he do such a thing? I won't have it. I won't.
Mrs. Bartlett, I just... Oh.
Annie, come here at once. Miss Garrison has fainted.
How are you feeling, Genevieve? Mother said you'd been ill, that you had some sort of an attack.
It wasn't anything. I had rather a shock. My heart isn't too good. I was reading the paper to your mother, and I noticed your name coupled with that of a Miss Marvell.
Oh.
It was silly of me to give way because I know it can't mean anything now.
Genevieve, I think I'd better come right out with it.
You mean it's true? Oh, Barry, how could you?
I've been trying to get up here to discuss it with you. You know that such an arrangement as ours is no good. Why, if Mother ever found out we were married, we'd be sunk. It's very unfair.
It's just as unfair to me. I didn't ask you to marry me. I was content the way things were. But when you asked me to be your wife, you said you were going to get a job so you wouldn't be dependent on your mother. I was so happy and so proud of you.
Well, I tried to get a job. But it's terribly awkward trying to find something to do when you're not accustomed to it. And you can't ask a man of my position to go out and become a garage mechanic or something like that.
There's nothing dishonorable in becoming a garage mechanic.
Oh, don't talk nonsense. Naturally, I can't tell my friends my reason that I'm married.
Naturally.
I met Joan some time ago. I was up at King's College with her brother Ned. She's grown up to be most attractive.
More attractive than I am, of course.
I didn't say that. It would be a very suitable marriage. The Marbells have pots of money, and the old man would give me a place in his business. Oh, naturally, I plan to take care of you, make you a suitable allowance, and that sort of thing, if you'll divorce me. As a matter of fact, Joan knows all about you and has consented to marry me if I can get a divorce.
She knows about your being married to me. But there's something else she can't know, Barry.
Why, what are you talking about?
I'm going to have a child. Your child.
Child? Who knows about it?
Dr. Ansteth. I went to see him, and he told me what was wrong with me.
Well, Ansteth's a good sport. He won't talk. Anybody else?
I've told no one else. But I think Annie suspects.
Oh, I hope it doesn't get to Mother.
But you can understand now why I can't divorce you.
I can understand why you think so, but I still think it's a shame. Why do these things have to happen to me?
These things have to happen to you, Barry? But yours is no great tragedy, though you think yourself so ill-used. The harm that is done is not to yourself, but to the woman who loves you so dearly. And can you be sure she won't tell your mother?
Is there anything else you want, Mrs. Bartlett?
Yes, Annie. You're not to let that Joe Moberly into the kitchen. Is that clear? I'll not have that sort of thing going on in my house.
I'm not seeing Joe in the house. And when I see him open and honest, like respectable people. I'm not the only person in this house that is a gentleman friend either.
Well, I'd like to know who that person is.
I'm not saying anything against anybody. Only, if I can't see my Joe that keeps his distance and knows his place, why should anybody else be allowed to have a man in this house?
Ask Miss Garrison to come up here at once.
Annie said you wished to speak to me, Mrs. Bartlett?
And so I do. I'll come right to the point. What's going on behind my back?
Behind your back? I don't know what you mean.
Oh, yes, you do. You lie very badly. Out with it.
I don't understand. Did Annie say anything about me?
I was berating Annie for seeing that Joe, and she tossed her head and said she wasn't the only person hereabouts who had a gentleman friend. Only her gentleman friend called on her open and honest. Well, is there anything to what she says?
Yes. I have a gentleman friend, as Annie puts it so elegantly. I have more than that. I have a husband.
A husband?
Your son, Barry.
Barry? Barry? You're lying. You're lying. He wouldn't dare. He knows what he means to me. He couldn't do this to me.
It seems he did, Mrs. Bartlett.
Then you tricked him into it.
Of course you would say that. But I did nothing of the sort. I loved him. He asked me to marry him so he might free himself of your hold on him.
Barry did that? I'll not believe it.
Of course you won't believe it. You don't know the meaning of love.
What a way to talk to me. I'll not tolerate it another moment.
You'll have to tolerate it. Because there's no way of your stopping me. I learned something else from Barry. He has one side to his nature which he takes from you.
What do you mean?
I married him because he wished it. He was going to find a way that we might live together openly. But Barry found he couldn't do what he said he would do. He found an easier way to live. Through another woman who could keep him in the style to which you had accustomed him. So he told me this, expecting I would forego my claim to him.
Divorce him?
I would have released him. But there was another whose claim was greater than mine. His child.
Oh, disgraceful. Under my very roof. I can't endure any more of this. I'll call my lawyers. I'll cut him off without a cent. My medicine. Medicine. Oh.
What's happened, Miss Garrison?
Come in, Annie.
Oh, it's the missus. It's another attack. I'll call Dr. Ansteth.
You can call him Annie. But Mrs. Bartlett is dead.
And now Barry will be free from his mother's apron strings, free from financial worry. He will inherit the estate to do with as he pleases. But still, he hasn't everything. Joan is forever on his mind.
I had to talk with you, Joan. It's been ages since I've had a moment alone with you.
I'm sorry, Barry, but I didn't think it best.
Oh, I've got to talk things over with you.
When we planned to marry before, and you told me how you'd been tricked into marriage by that woman, I was willing to overlook it if you could get a divorce from her.
Oh, that's the devil of it. She won't divorce me now. There's going to be a child.
Oh. Where is she?
In a nursing home. She's been ill ever since Mother died. For a while, they thought she might die, too, but she pulled out of it.
Oh, I know she must have, led you on, but you're so attractive, and she must have been really fond of you.
But I don't love her, dear. I love you. Can't you understand it? I can't give you up. I won't.
Barry, darling, I love you, too, but this isn't a thing we can decide in a moment. You must be patient.
Patient. You sit there close to me, and you ask me to be patient. I will for a while. But only for a while.
Genevieve, lying in her narrow bed in the nursing home, is trying to be patient, too, trying to forget the pain which racks her to the core, trying to keep from calling for the husband who isn't there. She had hoped that the birth of their son would bring him back to her. Then, one evening, the door opened.
Is that you, nurse?
No, it's Barry. They said I might see you now.
Barry. Oh, why haven't you come before? I've wanted you so.
There, now, don't go on like that. I've had quite a lot of business connected with the estate, which took me away for a bit. They sent me a wire about the baby, and I came as quickly as I could.
Have you seen him?
Yes, rum little Dickens. Babies all look alike. Well, you'll be as fit as a fiddle before long, and after you get out of here, there's some things that must be straightened out.
What things straightened out? I don't understand.
Oh, things. I'll see about a house for you and the baby, and...
For me and the baby? What about you? Aren't you going to live with us, Barry?
No, you see, I...
Barry, that girl. Are you still in love with her?
Well, yes, I am.
I thought when the baby came it would be different. I see it's not.
Well, it's...
Let me tell you something. Sit down. You'll have to keep her waiting a while longer. They thought I didn't hear them because I was being put under the anesthetic. But I wasn't quite out. The doctor said she may last for years, but I lay you 10 to 1 she's dead in 3 months.
Oh, come now. You may have imagined it.
I didn't imagine it. You know what that means to me. 3 months to live. You can see how important it is that those 3 months should be spent with you.
The doctor didn't say a word to me about your being in such a serious condition.
I heard him.
I see. And you don't want to give me a divorce. You want me to wait, is that it?
Yes, Barry. Please.
First it was my mother, and now you.
Barry. There's something I feel I must tell you. Something about your mother you don't know.
Or what do you mean?
The doctor said she died of a heart attack, and she did. But she wouldn't have died if I'd given her the medicine for it. She'd found out from Annie that I'd been seeing some man, and when she asked me who it was, I told her everything.
You did?
She went into a tantrum and stormed at me. She had an attack. And I stood by and watched her gasp for breath and call for help that never came. I did that for you. For you, Barry.
And you expect me to go on with you?
I'd expect you to stay with me and our son during the last remaining months of my life. And if you try to leave me or seek to have me put away because of what I've done, I'll bring you into it. I'll swear it was your idea. That you're an accessory.
The months go by. 1, 2, 3. And Genevieve, remembering the conversation which she had overheard between the doctor and the nurse, cannot believe it when she finds herself unmistakably improving in health.
Well, Genevieve, you'd had a rather severe time of it before the baby came, and you were quite run down. But you've done very well. You must watch your heart, though. Avoid any strenuous activity and keep as calm as possible.
Barry has sullenly accepted the conditions which have been forced on him, but the knowledge that Genevieve was responsible for his mother's death as well as for his enforced separation from the girl he loves, makes him sullen and bitter. There's no happiness for either of them in this unnatural arrangement, but Genevieve holds him with her constant threat.
Did you ring for me, Mrs. Bartlett?
Will you ask Cook to make me a fresh pot of coffee, Annie? This tastes very bitter.
Yes'm, but Cook won't like it.
Well, I can't drink this. It tastes as bitter as Never mind. Don't take it back. Leave it.
Yes'm.
Odd, but I could have sworn it tasted bitter like... I couldn't. Oh, good morning, Barry.
Good morning.
I'd offer you some coffee, but it's not so very good.
No, thanks. I'll just have a look at the paper. I had coffee in my room.
Oh? Since when do you do that?
What? Since when do I do what?
Have coffee in your room?
I did this morning.
Was it this same pot?
Well, it might have been. I don't know. I never noticed. Why?
Did you notice it was quite bitter?
I can't say that I did. Might have been standing too long. The cook should have sent you some fresh coffee. Get after her about it.
Yes. It might have been standing too long.
It might have been standing too long, but you don't think so, do you, Genevieve? Not when you know how your husband bitterly resents his enforced stay at your side, how he wishes the doctor's prognosis of your case had been fulfilled. If only there was some way to break up this infatuation with Joan before it's too late. Why not call Joan? Talk to her yourself.
Miss Joan Marvell, ma'am.
How do you do, Miss Marvell? Come in, please.
Thank you.
That will be all, Annie. I suppose you're wondering why I sent for you.
Yes, I was a bit surprised, to say the least.
I want to talk to you about Barry. Barry's my husband. We have a child, as you know. This is his home, and I've done everything possible to keep him here where he belongs. But so long as you continue to see him, it will be more difficult for him to make a decision.
What makes you think I've been seeing him?
I can tell by the way he acts. He thinks he's in love with you. And he will continue to think so until you make a definite break.
Well, Mrs. Bartlett, I've not been seeing Barry. He's tried to reach me many times, but I've purposely avoided him.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I'm going to be married to someone else. So you have nothing further to worry about.
Does Barry know this?
No.
Then why haven't you told him?
I intend to tell him today.
I wish you would. He's been acting strangely of late, and I'd feel ever so much easier about things if you let him know the truth.
I understand, Mrs. Bartlett.
I hope you'll be very happy, Miss Marvell. And I do thank you for coming.
It's all for the best, Barry.
You don't mean that, Joan.
Until I talked to her, I was really undecided about marrying Roger Hedden. But now I know what to do. She's a lovely woman, Barry. The most tragic eyes I've ever seen in my life. You must go back to her. She wants you, needs you. You must forget about me.
So she sent for you, did she?
Yes.
She thought she was being clever. Oh, why doesn't she give up? She knows how I feel. I do wish you hadn't gone to her.
I'm glad I did. I know now what to do. And having seen her, talked to her, I understand you so much better.
Understand me?
Yes. I think you know what I mean. Goodbye, Barry.
No, please. Joan, please, wait a minute. You don't really love this, Roger. You're doing this just because of Genevieve. You must think of yourself. Think of me. Hold your decision for a few weeks.
Why?
Well, something may happen. I mean, if you'll just wait a bit, the picture may change for us.
How do you mean? How could that be possible now?
Promise me that you'll wait.
What are you thinking, Barry?
Why, nothing. I just want you to wait.
She said you'd been acting odd.
She's imagining things.
I'll have to hurry now or I'll miss my appointment. Goodbye. I said goodbye, Barry.
Oh, yes. Goodbye, Joan.
Now it is late the same night. Genevieve lies wakefully in her bed. A car draws up outside. The front door opens and closes. Genevieve sits up. Someone is coming up the stairs. They pause before the door.
Who is it?
May I come in?
Yes, Barry.
Hello, Genevieve.
Oh, Barry.
I'm sorry to disturb you at this time of night. How do you feel?
Why, I feel much better, Barry.
Well, Joan told me that she had talked to you this afternoon.
Yes, Barry.
We're all washed up, you know. She asked me to come back to you.
Oh, Barry. If you only would.
There's a lot of unpleasant memories between us.
I try to make you forget them, Barry.
I had decided to go to California.
Oh, Barry, please don't. Stay with me. I need you, darling. Please don't go.
All right, Genevieve. If that's the way you want it.
Barry, you don't know what this means to me. We'll really be together again. You and the baby and me.
Genevieve, what's wrong?
It's my heart.
What?
Excitement. My medicine in the bathroom. Please, Barry.
Medicine?
Yes. The little one with the medicine dropper. Please.
Yeah. Yes, Genevieve. Bottle with the medicine dropper in it. Medicine dropper in it. Oh, yeah. I have it. How much do you take?
5 drops.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you are.
Thank you, Barry.
Oh, you'll be all right now, Genevieve. You'll be all right in a few moments. I'll stay in the other room tonight.
Barry.
What is it?
That bottle. That isn't my medicine.
What?
No. Look at the label. That's your mother's medicine.
Mother's? Oh, good Lord, it is.
It's wrong for me. That medicine is a heart depressant. Barry. What have you done? I can't breathe. Can't.
Genevieve. Genevieve!
Well, Barry, what have you done? Genevieve is dead. Isn't this what you wanted? You're free now, Barry. Free. Then, 45 minutes later, Dr. Anstead hurried into the bedroom.
Well, Barry, what is it? What's happened?
I don't know, Doctor. This is the way I found her.
Well, not a sign of a pulse. Poor girl. I can't understand it. She'd improved so much.
She's dead, Doctor?
Yes, Barry. I'm sorry. I'm completely dumbfounded. Wait a moment. What's this?
What?
What on earth? Why, she's taken some of this medicine. Good heavens, yes, I can smell it in the glass.
Well, what's wrong, sir?
This isn't her medicine. I prescribed this for your mother.
My mother?
Genevieve's heart needed a stimulant. This induces the opposite reaction. Oh, she took this by mistake.
By mistake? But how on earth could...
Well, there's nothing we can do for her now. What time did you say you came into the room, Barry?
Why, just a few moments before I called you.
Well, that would be 12 minutes ago.
Yes, that's right.
I see.
She was gasping for breath. She tried to say something, but I couldn't make out what it was. I called you immediately.
Well, I'll call the undertakers. I'll use the phone in the hall. The body's in this room, Mr. Andrews. Come in.
Thank you.
Barry, this is Mr. Andrews.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do?
Mr. Andrews is a police inspector.
What? Why the police? I thought you called the undertaker.
Not yet.
Well, why the police?
Barry, here's a letter your wife gave me not so long ago. It says on the envelope, to be opened at my death.
A letter?
Yes, I'll read it to you. Dear Dr. Anstead, for many months now, my husband has been in love with another woman. I refuse to give him a divorce. Lately, he's been acting in a strange manner. I know he wants me out of the way. I know he has tried to poison me. I've hoped and hoped that I could bring him back to his senses. But now I'm afraid it's too late. If my death occurs, I want you to investigate the circumstances thoroughly. Signed, Genevieve Bartlett.
But that's ridiculous. I never thought of such a thing. It's all pure imagination. I came back here tonight to stay. I realized what a fool I'd been, and that letter doesn't prove a thing.
It proves a motive. And furthermore, you lied about the time you found her.
Lied?
You said you came into this room 12 minutes before I arrived. You said she was trying to speak, and that you called me at once. 12 minutes elapsed from the time you found her till I came.
Yes, that's what I said.
But she had been dead almost an hour when I saw her.
What?
You waited, Barry. Waited till you were sure she was dead. Then you called me.
No, wait a minute, Doctor. I can explain.
You can explain down at headquarters. Come on. Barry tried to explain. He told the truth. He had come back to Genevieve to stay. He did get the bottle for Genevieve. It was an accident. But he couldn't explain why he waited almost 30 minutes before he called the doctor. He said he just sat beside the bed in a daze, and that was the truth. But no one would believe him. No one. Poor Barry.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Tonight's story was written by Elizabeth Easton and directed by J. Donald Wilson. The Whistler originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual tale. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.